everyone. Welcome to the Nocturnal Nerdcast. My name is Eric. I am your host tonight. It is Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Yes. Tuesday, the 18th of August, 2026. And we're going to be going over so much stuff tonight. I'm really excited. We had a bunch of information come out from Disney. So we're going to be doing that. We got a bunch of trailers to watch. We're going to talk about the first episode of Lanterns. So just a ton to talk about tonight, and I'm pretty excited about all of it. Right now, it's just us. Right now, it is just us here. So we'll see if anybody pops into the back room at some point. Not the bad back rooms, the good back room here on the channel. Any games tonight? If people show up, we'll talk about games. I don't like to plan them ahead of time because I don't really know when we're going to have enough people to do it. Want to give some shout outs here, though. We got a bunch of people in the chat. Channel members, we got South Texas Shark. Good to see you. Jose's in the building. Good to see you, Jose. Ash Parth Reviews is here. Lone Wolf is here as well. Channel members, thank you guys for your continued support. Stagivore is here. What's up, Stagivore? We got a bunch of other, everybody's chatting. It's so many people here. Calvin Patel, Dullboy, Dalton is here. Lobo's in the house. Fetman is here. Cameron is here. Good to see you, Cameron. Your Grudge Gaming is here. Chris is here. Who else do we have? Justin is in the building. GD Blue Wolf is here. Christopher Barker's here. Just your casual viewers here. Anarin, good to see you. Ira's in the building. Tony is in the building. Thanks everybody for getting here early. Keyblade Master Jeffrey, Sticky Marley, Jay Bird. Oh, the Maestro's here, another channel member. Thank you for being here. Yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out. I appreciate it. We're going to get started we're going to get something out of the way that I know a lot of people that are on the panel don't like talking about, but I find it interesting because I think it's really important. And that is more information about this merger. Now, with Paramount and Warner Brothers, there's some shady stuff going on in the background of all of this. And it's becoming more and more apparent here that stuff is not being discussed publicly the way it should be. And one of the big red flags here is what's going on with theater chains at the moment. So we know that they basically told them, we're not going to court until next year. You're going to have to start paying money. And David Ellison flipped out and said, I'm taking my ball and I'm going somewhere else. And this is what he said. Even though we know that it would be financially impossible for him to do that and to purchase Warner Brothers. So it's all just a bunch of nonsense. But it seems like a lot of these theater chains are now trying to get on board with all of this. And it's such a weird thing because it's all based on a lie. It's based on a lie. So it says Cinemark here is joining AMC Theaters and Regal in supporting the Paramount Warner Brothers merger, meaning 3 of the country's major movie theater chains are now backing the $111 billion deal. And here's what they had to say. Okay. And I want you guys to understand, this is not good. These companies are shady as fuck. And I'm going to explain why. The enduring success of our industry requires a healthy theatrical ecosystem supported by financially sound studios and exhibitors that can effectively create, distribute, and exhibit high-quality films to consumers around the world. Well, then why are you looking at Paramount? Why are you looking at them? They're going to be broke as fuck. They're going to be broke. One of the largest debt loads in history. In the entertainment industry. I mean, it might even be the largest one. $111 billion. And then taking on the existing debt from Warner Brothers. Because they're still catching up. David Ellison and the leadership team at Paramount Skydance have repeatedly expressed their intent to release at least 30 films into theaters annually following a merger with Warner Brothers Discovery, with a minimum window of 45 days to PVOD and 90 days to SVOD. It's not going to happen. This is not going to happen. They would be cannibalizing their own films. This is a lie. He's not going to do this. Moreover, they're now offering to put those pledges into written commitments and consent decrees. Those are not legally binding, everybody. Those are not legally binding contracts. So it's like, these are conditions and formal assurances that align with our long-held views, which we at Cinemark support. I got some information over here, right? Okay, so this is AMC, Regal, and Cinemark have now magically, in a very short amount of time, shifted their support for this merger. And this is because David Ellison promises 30 wide-release theatrical films a year, 15 per studio label. So that means 15 from Paramount, 15 from Warner Brothers. But it doesn't really matter because it's coming from the same house. They're different rooms in the same house. Here's the crazy thing. These pledges made in press releases or voluntary consent decrees are non-binding, meaning they cannot be held up legally. So if he decides after this merger happens that he doesn't want to do this, it would be very hard to hold him legally accountable for anything that he said, because as a business owner, he has the freedom to shift his priorities for the betterment of his business if it's not a legal contract. So once the merger closes, there's no mechanism for a theater chain to force a studio to keep producing movies if the math doesn't work out. And we know this because we know that studios changed their release formula. They changed their format and formula for releasing films post-COVID. And there was nothing the theater chains could do about it. They couldn't go to Disney and go, you've got to do this. They couldn't go to Warner Brothers and say, you got to do this. Universal, Sony, and force them to do anything. They couldn't do it then, and they're not going to be able to do it after this happens. There's no legal binding contract. Now, here's the crazy part. I was running the numbers on this. Dropping a wide release, or dropping this many films in a year means dropping a wide release every 12 to 14 days. They would have to release one of their films every 12 to 14 days for the entire year. This means Paramount and Warner Brother titles would be competing against each other for premium screens every time they come out. And this doesn't even count the fact that they're $80 billion in debt, which means that the studio won't have patience to let any of these non-performing movies continue. So how long would the flops happen before they decide that this doesn't work out for them? A few months? A year? The board will not sit around while a bunch of movies being pushed out just to fulfill some assurance, non-legal assurance, that's going to cause them to lose money after they're already billions of dollars in debts. Tens of billions of dollars in debt. Also, we know historically how this works out. We have a couple of recent examples. So we have the Disney-Fox merger in 2019. Disney promised they would make sure that Fox movies continued coming out and pushing them out the way they were before. 46% down in terms of releases of Fox since Disney took over Fox. For almost 50% of their release schedules have been cut since Disney took over. Disney, one of the most successful studios in the world, doesn't even do this. Because they understand what we just discussed, that putting a movie out every 12 to 14 days, competing against each other, is a bad business decision. So we lost 50% of Fox movies because of this, which should be a red flag. And it should be out there for everybody to go, oh yeah, this is a problem. We don't want to see these studios merge because we would lose 50% of Warner Brother releases. We can look back at Warner Brothers Discovery, 2022. That was another massive debt consolidation situation. And we know what happened with David Zaslav. He came in and was writing off completed films, selling off IPs and catalogs from Warner Brothers to places like Tubi, to Amazon, all these other places. Some things are gone completely. Some things that they had are gone entirely. You can't watch them anywhere right now. And he did all of this to make the company seem more profitable than they actually are. He's like, we're going to subtract things and get rid of them, which removed healthcare from the workers. That's why he did it. He wanted to get rid of some of the healthcare options he had for workers by removing some of their streaming shows, which then started this domino effect of other places doing the same fucking thing, like Netflix and other places removing shows to not have to pay healthcare. Scummy shit. To fake pop up and prop up and boost up the value of Warner Brothers. And thousands of layoffs. Speaking of layoffs, before we move away from this story, I just want you guys to understand why this is so fucking scummy that you have these three theater chains, AMC, Regal, and Cinemark, pushing for this. Because here is the math. Here's the math of how bad this is for the industry. The direct cuts from this merger would be around 2,500 jobs within the industry. So 2,500 people would be redundant and they would lose their jobs immediately. Like almost immediately this would happen. Then if you look outside of the US and the international studios, we're talking about 6,000 jobs. So we're talking about 2,500, 6,000 gone. Those jobs are gone. And let's talk about the ancillary businesses, things that work within the industry that are not just tied directly to production. So we're talking about vendors, prop houses, local restaurants, rentals, catering, transportation, post-production vendors that aren't involved with the actual primary production. 15,000 to 20,000 jobs lost right after the merger happens. So that means we're going to lose over 8,000 jobs directly from the studio and upwards of 20,000 jobs within the industry because of this merger. Another thing is, it's been noted that out of the 19 recent theatrical releases from Paramount and Warner Brothers, only one movie was shot in California, the primary photography. So he's looking for tax credits out of the state of California anyway. Now, the WGA and the SGA have been pushing back against this. But the issue here is that, and actually the Attorney General isn't buying any of this. He's pushing back against it as well. This is not good for the industry. Cinemark, AMC, and Regal are pieces of shit for backing this. They're so concerned about a flimsy promise, one that we know historically. We've had it happen twice, 2019, 2022, with these mergers. We've had it happen twice now. Production ramps down. It doesn't ramp up when you're taking on debt at this level. I just had to talk about this. It's so frustrating for me because as somebody that wants the industry to do well, that wants these theaters to work, to make things function and for people to have jobs and stuff, to see that these theater chains are now getting behind Paramount on this is very disgusting. It almost makes me sick to my stomach. Because again, we're talking about 30,000 jobs lost almost as soon as this merger happens, within the first 6 to 12 months of the merger. But he promised 30 movies a year. So that's why we're doing this. An unenforceable promise, by the way. We did have somebody jump on in the back. We're going to bring them on stage, and that is Joe. Joe has arrived.
Hey.
You came in right at the end of my rant about this whole Paramount Warner Brothers thing.
I keep saying Rob Bonta is the hero we need, but not.
Yeah, he's not buying any of this.
Yep. No, he's our only hope.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is that this doesn't mean anything to him because the actual people in the industry are the ones that are like formally against this, like the writers and the Screen Actors Guild. They're formally, the Teamsters are against this. Almost anybody that work in the industry are against this.
Right.
These theater chains are looking at this promise of 30 movies a year, which we know is impossible because no studio does that. It is impossible to put out 30 movies a year without cutting off one of your hands.
Right.
So we're talking 12. I did the math. It's 12 to 14. It's a new movie every 12 to 14 days for the course of a year.
Here's the thing. I think they are going to do 30 movies a year for like the first year or two. Because if you look at what they have already in the pipeline at Paramount and what they already have at the pipeline at Warner Brothers, it's over 30 movies.
But I don't think they're going to keep it up. I don't think
they're not going to keep it up. And when they say they're going to put it in writing, it's like, okay, but I think they said their contract that they were going to write with the theaters was like for 2 years. What happens after that 2 years?
But here's the funny thing. They've already dug into this. This is a non-legally binding consent form. It's not an actual legal form of contract with them. There's no way for them to enforce it. If they come back 3 months later and say they don't want to do it anymore, there's no legal recourse for it.
Right.
Because it's not an act. Like, how does that contract work with 3 different theater chains? It's just it's a non-binding consent form.
Yeah.
So to me, all it would take is a year of flops before the board of directors is like, we aren't doing this. They don't give a fuck about theaters. They don't give a fuck about any of that stuff.
Let's say they do it. Let's say like, okay, well, you're going to get 30. And like I said, I do think you would get 30 the first year or two, just based on the numbers of what's already in the pipeline. But what kind of movies? Are they just going to throw any old shit on the screen? Like,
probably.
Is it going to be like, oh, we strung together 4 episodes of SpongeBob, and now you have a new SpongeBob movie.
Oh, like, all of a sudden, Batgirl returns. They're like, we need another movie. Batgirl's ready to go.
Actually, that I'd be okay with because I'm still dying to see Batgirl.
No. I'm saying like I wouldn't have a problem with that either. But I'm thinking like they would dig into the vault to find things that they could put out, and because the thing is, the tax write-off that Warner Brothers did won't matter once they merge with Paramount. Paramount can go, we want to release it. We want to put it out.
I always heard that they could put it out anytime they want. They just have to, whatever kind of a tax rebate they took, they have to like pay it back then.
Right. Which I think was like 40 million, I think is what it was. It was 40 million, something like that. It was a low number because I remember thinking that they would have made more money just releasing the movie because it would have made more than that in theaters anyway.
I mean, I know it's not Batgirl, it's Coyote. But one pet peeve I have continuously had with John Campea is that he keeps saying, they put this movie out there and they all they wanted was the 80 mil that they spent on it. That was it. They only wanted the 80 mil they spent on it, and no other studio would pay for it because they were all like, no, it's not worth that. And I'm like, that's not what happened. What happened was Warner Brothers came out and said, we're going to take a $30 million tax rebate on this.
You're talking about the Coyote movie, right?
Yeah. So if they were getting 30 million for Coyote, I imagine it was pretty similar for Batgirl. But they were like, we're going to take a 30 million tax credit on this. Well, as soon as you've told people you're willing to take 30 million, why are they going to pay 80 million? You've already said that you're settling for 30.
Yeah, and I distinctly remember it was around 30 or 40 for Batgirl. I just don't remember the exact number. I'd have to look it up. But we did have some people jump into the back room here, and we're going to bring them up on stage. We have Darren,
hello,
who is clean shaven today? Like it's not beard cast anymore now? Because
no.
Okay. All right. Good to see you. We got a bunch of D23 stuff to talk about, so it's going to be a fun stream. And we also have Bob here on a Tuesday.
It's wild. What?
Oh yeah. Well, I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be Jake.
Let me drop this article down. We do have a super chat about this specifically, and then I'll see if anybody wants to chime in on it. But Stagger Warrior with the $4.99 super chat says Ellison has barely provided any results after Paramount merged with Skydance. Why would anyone trust him with Warner Brothers? I mean, that's the whole thing. All of this is going to come up in court. They're going to talk about what Paramount has done once Skydance has done since the Paramount acquisition, and then they're going to look at things like the Fox Disney merger, which we know that lost a bunch of jobs. They cut their film output by like 50% for Fox, and then they're going to look at the Warner Brothers Discovery merger in 2022, which we also saw a reduction of workforce there. All of that's going to come up in court, and David Ellison is either going to have to legally consent to put it on paper that he's going to do these things, which, spoiler alert, he's not going to do that because the board of directors wouldn't let him do that. Or they're going to have to face this question about whether or not this makes sense. And to be honest with everybody, regardless of what the theater said, Cinemark, AMC, Regal, whatever they say, Screen Actors Guild is against this. The Writing Guild is against this. The union is against this. Most people in Hollywood are against this, with the exception of a handful of people who have ties to Ellison. This isn't good for the industry, and they're going to come in and they're going to be on the stand and they're going to be called up as experts on this, and this is not going to look good for them. Does anybody want to chime off on this before we move on?
I mean, if we're talking about people who are against it, I'm against it. I think it's ridiculous. I hate it. I mean, this is I was as much as I want Marvel to get the X-Men back, and I'm happy to get some hopefully good X-Men movies, but I still didn't like the Fox Disney merger, and I like this even less.
Right. Yeah. What about you, Darren? Any thoughts on this? I know it's not everybody's favorite subject, but
what is it? The Paramount stuff still?
Yeah. So apparently the theater chains came out in support of Paramount now because of the 30 movies a year promise that he keeps talking about. But Bondi is not buying it. He's still going to move forward with the lawsuit. So I didn't know if you had any opinions on this or not.
I mean, on paper, I see why theaters would be like, hell yeah, more movies mean more money. Of course, right? But I don't. And when it compares to Netflix, they're like, well, Netflix is our competitor, and it's ruining the movie theater, whatever. But I don't know. I still, let's not make that happen. Ideally, we would not have buyouts like this. They're never. I know Joe said it months ago, but and I think he's right. Buyouts are never a good thing. There can be small positives to it, like Marvel owning Fox, like you just said. But I'm sorry, Marvel owning the X-Men, but overall, the thousands of jobs that are lost in these things are never great.
I mean, the whole thing about capitalism, it's supposed to be like a free market. There's supposed to be competition. Competition drives down prices. Yeah. Well, what does this do? It eliminates competition.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy that the only people I see online that seem to be very enthusiastic and want this to go through are the Snyder Bros, who for some reason think that Paramount is going to bring Snyder back. But one way or the other, even if they were, let's say for the sake of argument, oh yes, Paramount was going to bring back Snyder. You're saying to get some Zack Snyder movies, it's worth it to have thousands of people lose their jobs. It's thousands of people lost their jobs, but I got Zack Snyder, so that's a win.
You're asking Snyder Bros to use logic. I mean, come
on. All right, so let's do another got a couple super chats here. By the way, before we move on to the next super chat, I have to say, I got super emotional the other day when it was announced that Hayden Panettiere had passed away.
That one hit me. That's wild.
It was weird. I had a weird emotional, because I hadn't thought about her for years, right? It's not like, she's been in anything super massive in the last couple years or whatever, but she's been dealing with a lot of stuff in her life. And, I remember watching her as a young actress on Heroes and really feeling like she carried that show on her back with Sylar. They were the two that really carried the show.
No, it was also kind of reminding me how
I love Peter, but those two really for me.
Hiro Nakamura.
Dude,
I thought
Heroes season 1 was so fire. I wish seasons were that good, but season 1 was so fucking good.
But it just like I got very emotional when it happened. I don't know why, because I just heard it and I was like, it was a weird thing. Like because again, I've been keeping up with her personal life, with the loss of family members and things going on with her estranged husband and all those things and the depression she'd been dealing with. And I was just like, when a celebrity disappears for a while and they just die, it's like, what the fuck,
Yeah, I mean, she was so young too. I mean, she's almost 10 years younger than me, and I'm like, holy crap, what the hell?
There was also a lot of interviews that popped up where she talked about being exposed to a lot of really negative stuff in the industry at a young age, which I'm not super surprised. But
no, it seems pretty common when you're in the industry at that young.
I was pretty upset about it too. I didn't know any of the stuff she was dealing with the depression and all that, but I was just
her brother passed away like a few years ago, I believe.
Yeah, I didn't even know that, but I was just thinking about her in March because I went and saw the truly terrible Scream 7 3 times.
That's right, the Scream stuff,
and I kept thinking like, oh man, like why isn't she in this? Like this would be because she was in Scream. They brought her back in Scream 6. I'm like,
yeah,
and apparently she was in negotiations to appear in Scream 8 right before she died, so they were going to bring her back. But
I mean, she was legit. She is probably, maybe this is controversial, at least she's probably my favorite Scream character introduced after the first one.
Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been playing through all the Kingdom Hearts for the first time, and she's she's the OG Kairi, so it's weird to be like, oh damn, that sucks. That really is very unfortunate.
We've got a couple more super chats here, and then we're going to talk X-Men casting. Cartoon49 with a $5 super chat says, thoughts on Paramount could leave California for a red state over its antitrust fight of the merger if there's no settlement by October. They won't do it. It is a complete bluff because they don't have the money. If they do this, if Ellison were to leave California, in practice, it would be like, oh, we're just going to transplant people that live here to a red state like Texas. But that's not the value of Paramount. Paramount's value is in its studios, in the places there, physical places in California. You can't move those things somewhere else and retain that value. He would have to sell those places off to other studios, thus losing value in Paramount by doing that. So it's a bluff, and everybody knows it's a bluff. This is why Rob is not falling for it. First of all, they don't have the money to move, but he's also willing to uproot hundreds of thousands of employees to do this move because they won't do what he wants them to do because look, guys, he cannot afford to pay them $7 million a day until March. That's $1 billion just waiting. And it would be more than that after that because I'm sure that regardless of which side wins, somebody's going to appeal, and we're going to be dealing with 3 or 4 more months of him paying $7 million a day.
If there's an appeal, he's already lost. Because if there's an appeal, it's going to take it past the date where Warner Brothers can walk away.
Exactly. But, so the thing is that it just like, this is why people call it a tantrum and they call it a threat, because it would be financial suicide for him to try and move Paramount out of California. The value of that company would drop overnight.
I agree, but I think he's going to fake it. Like, I think he's going to, because they do have offices apparently in Tennessee. I think he's going to make like a theatrical show of, look, we're moving to Tennessee. But
look, the way I feel about it at this point with Paramount, do it. Yeah. Like, move all your shit out of California and see how quickly your value drops. But the board of directors would kick him out. He would get voted out as their CEO.
It also works against him too, though, because it's like, if that's your threat, if your threat is I'm going to pull Paramount out of California, it's like, okay, well, if you pull Paramount out of California, all those jobs at Paramount are lost.
Yeah.
If you gain Warner Brothers, then we got to worry about you pulling Warner Brothers out of California, and that's more loss. So that's
they would say the same thing. They would go, you pulled your studio out, so why are we going to give you another one to take out of the state of California? Exactly. We're not going to do it. So it's pointless. It's a big baby tantrum.
And his new one, did you hear his new tantrum? He wants the states to put up the billions of dollars he's going to lose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard that. Vincent here with I don't know what denomination this is. 20,000. Not sure.
I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw that, I was like, "Wait, is that 20?" Oh,
$20,000.
What the hell is that?
Yes, it's the equivalent of a blue tiered super chat. But the point is, I don't know what currency that is. Guys, tell me what it is. I feel really stupid here.
To buy Warner Brothers with a $20,000, we can just buy it. Yeah.
It says here, I still want Warner Brother movies like Digger to do. Look, the thing is, Warner Brothers has been putting out good movies. That's the thing. They've got their track record has been more positive than negative in the last 2 years. So this is why they need to stay as like they don't need to be purchased by another studio. That's the whole thing. Cartoon, I see it. It's just it got split up. We'll go back to that one.
And I think it's also worth noting Warner Brothers as a studio is much bigger than Paramount. It's kind of wild. It's kind of
yes, that is true. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Still don't see. Oh, Ducats. Is it? Is that real? Are you fucking with me, Frodo Cop? Makes me ducats is like an age-old currency, right? It's not even around anymore. Maybe it is. I don't know. Thank you for the super chat. Cartoon 49 with a $2 super chat says thoughts on the end of Oak Street. If you saw it, I did see it. I've seen it twice now. I went last week and I went today again. So
I'm seeing it at 1:30 tomorrow.
I don't want to. Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Oh, I haven't gotten there yet. I'm anxious though.
Wait, am I the only one that's seen it? Oh, it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good movie. It's so much fun
about it. So
I heard I read a really good review about it today. The Critical Drinker wrote that it was terrible, and I said, "Oh, well, I got to see that."
No, I think it's really. I had a lot of fun with it. So it's one of those movies. So just without a lot of spoilers, the movie takes place in the 80s. So it's an 80s based film.
Oh.
So when you meet all of our characters, it's like 1982, 1983, somewhere around there. So it's very 80s coded, and they do such a good job with it because all the characters really feel like they live in the 80s in the movie. And then the mystery about how it all happens is played very much like the 80s. So, and the visual effects are great. The acting is great. The characters, the kids in the movie act like kids from 80s movies. They do things that you would expect kids from 80s movies to do. It's very much like that. I thought it was good. It's not a deep film. Like, you're not going to go into this and go, man, like, this story is it resonates with me on a deeper level. It's not that. It is a fun, time-traveling dinosaur movie with some great acting. So if that's what you want, I would say it might even be better than some of the Jurassic Park movies I've seen recently.
Well, the last two.
Not terribly high bar. That's not terrible.
No, I would say for me, it fits somewhere between like the best and the middle Jurassic Park movie. So it's in that bubble. And honestly, if you wanted to like throw this into the Jurassic Park world as like a separate movie that plays off of that, you could totally do that. I feel like that could work. I had a lot of fun with it. Don't believe any of the content creators are saying it's shit or whatever they're saying out there. It's not true. It's not that.
Well, it's like the same people.
They keep calling it a girl boss movie and all this other shit, and I'm like, girl boss? It's a movie about dinosaurs. What are you even talking about? We got one more super chat here about the Ellison stuff, and then we're going to talk X-Men. Sagavor, $4.99 super chat says Ellison thought canceling the late show would be worth it, but he's going to get a rude wake-up call saying otherwise. Well, speaking of that, now apparently Disney is suing the FCC. So they're calling it like malicious tactics. I forget what the legal term is, but essentially for going after them after The View, the Jimmy Kimmel stuff, putting them through rigorous investigations only to find nothing being done wrong. So they're suing the FCC. So we'll see. And after November, it's going to be really interesting to see how the politics of this country go. So we'll find out. But thank you for the super chat, Staggervore. Have I seen Jester Bell? I see Jester Bell videos pop up on my feed every day. I don't always want to click on them though. Superior Nav doesn't like Anne Hathaway. She's having a good run right now with movies. This is like her third solid movie that I've seen this year. Is that wait? She's done more than 3 though, right? This year, or is it just?
I think she's
Odyssey,
she's
Devil Wears Prada, and this one, right?
But yeah, I think there's another one where she plays like a music star that I've seen people talk about. But yeah, Odyssey's the only one I've seen.
Darren, you're muted.
No.
Yes, you're still muted. Am I the only one that can't hear him, or is he muted? For everybody?
I can't hear him.
I can't hear him either.
All right. Mother Mary, is that the one?
Okay. Yes.
That we're thinking about? No, Darren, you're still.
Right.
You might have to leave and come back.
Hello?
I don't know.
There
you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah.
Stupid Mike.
Were you saying something about Anne Hathaway?
Dakota Johnson coming in later, where
I was literally
like,
about to say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some Dakota Johnson.
I'll be honest. I watched the trailer for that. Not impressed.
She was just at D23 for Princess Diaries 3.
Yep. Speaking of D23, we got some official X-Men casting. Now, I made a video about this the other day, but I figure we could talk about it here. I'm going to open this on another tab, so it's a bit larger.
This is the first time ever we have a Professor X who's older than, or who's younger than me, and I'm like, oh God, I'm getting old.
All right, so let's start out with two that we knew about, and one I think that was the new one, which is the Professor X casting. So we have Sadie Sink as Jean Grey. Regardless of what I think about the movie, we're not going to open that can of worms again. I think Sadie Sink is a good casting for Jean Grey. I don't really have an issue with her being Jean Grey. Kit Connors as Cyclops. By the way, did you guys see? Hold on, let me find this picture here. I saw this and I was like, let me bookmark this for the stream. People were saying that Kit is not right for Cyclops. Did you see this picture of him like
insane
in the gym routine for like the X-Men stuff or the Marvel stuff?
I actually didn't realize that he was like one of the main guys from Heartstopper. I didn't recognize the name, and then I look at the face. I'm like, oh wait, it's this guy.
Look at the.
Oh, he's good.
Like,
he's good.
Really, really in that Marvel like workout game. Here, so
you think they're gonna dye his hair?
You know what? I don't know, because depending on what comic you read, Cyclops' hair looks slightly different tones. So I don't know. But then we got Christopher Abbott as Professor X. Anybody, how you feel about this?
I'm not familiar with him.
Trivia time, Eric. He was in one other Marvel movie. What was it?
Marvel movie?
Yes. No one else say it for him.
No. Marvel or MCU?
Marvel.
Was it Madam Web?
You're close.
Oh, fuck.
Craven?
Morbius?
Using Craven
because those are the ones that I paid the least attention to. So I'm like, obviously it's one that I didn't really pay much attention to.
I was like looking through his credits. I was like, God damn it, using Craven the Hunter.
It's best to forget about the Venomverse, okay?
How old is he?
I'll never forget the Venomverse.
How old is Christopher Abbott?
I don't.
He's not too old. He's
what, like maybe 20? 40?
Let me look. 40. He is exactly 40. Okay.
So as I said before we got any of these casting announcements, they're going to be casting for people they want in this universe for like 2 decades. They want these people to be able to play these characters for about 15 to 20 years. Easy.
With this casting, that's definitely what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, if he's 40, then he could play Professor X well into his 60s if they really wanted him to.
Oh, yeah.
To be honest. But these first 3 here, any complaints or?
Nope.
I don't know Christopher Abbott. The other 2 are good by me.
I don't really know Abbott very much. I was looking through his stuff and I was like, I haven't really seen much he's in. I know he's in Werewolf from last year, but
all right. So then we have a few more slightly controversial ones here. So we know Samara Weaving is playing Emma Frost, and we're not really sure what her allegiance is going to be. Because we also got Adam Driver as Mr. Sinister, which I feel like they might be setting up a pseudo brotherhood with like characters from that particular facet of the X-Men universe. So Samara Weaving, I've already said perfect casting for Emma Frost to me. I have no notes on that. I think she's going to do a great job. Adam Driver is Mr. Sinister. Thoughts on this?
Well,
I think it's great.
Can I back up just a second? Why is Samara Weaving controversial then? I haven't heard any negativity about that.
Her controversial? I don't think. I think out of this lineup, she's the least controversial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Dan.
I don't have anything to say. Just I think she's good.
No, I was wondering about everybody's opinion on Adam Driver though, like his Mr. Sinister.
I think he'll probably kill it. I think. Listen, I thought he was great as Kylo Ren. My thoughts on the 3rd movie don't really reflect his ability as an actor. But yeah, I'd love to see him as a X-Men villain.
Yeah, I mean, I like it more than Magneto. Like, that was the rumor for a while, and I was like, I just like, I don't see Adam Driver as a guy that's doing this for the next 10 to 15 years. Mr. Sinister, I think, is a perfect role for him, though, because he
can get in there and then move away if he wants to from it or whatever. Yeah,
he can do a couple movies and then he can go do some other stuff. Like, it's not like, oh, you have to do this for every X-Men movie.
If you're playing Magneto, you're locked in for the entire run of the movies, probably. So, what about you, Joe? Any thoughts on Adam Driver?
He's a pretty good actor, but I'm not terribly familiar with the Mr. Sinister character.
Okay, but in terms of his acting, you think he's?
He's fine. I was a big comics guy growing up. Through the 80s through the 2010s, I was a huge comic guy. But X-Men is one book that I never really got into. So
see, that's the weird thing is X-Men was the most read book for me, like the series. Yeah, Inferno, I love that. Inferno was really hard to find. Like, I had to seek around for a while, like a side quest, to find the Inferno books because the large omnibus or the graphic version of it was almost impossible to purchase. I had to dig and dig because it was only released for a limited time and then they put it out of print. Ooh. So I used the actual Marvel app to read all of the books there, but I actually wanted a physical version. I finally got one. I like Adam Driver. I think he's a very talented actor. I think he gets a lot of shit because of the franchises he's been a part of. Welcome to Marvel, Adam. So I think we're going to see some of that here. Yeah. We're going to jump over Rogue for a second. We're going to save that one for last because I have a lot to say about that. We have Maya Boyd as Storm. Now, this is the one person I'm not familiar with at all because she's primarily a Broadway or theater actress. She's very young. She's only been doing it for about 3 years. She was in & Juliet, which is really, it's a fantastic production. Playing Juliet, which, by the way, I'm surprised the Chuds haven't jumped on that, by the way, because they don't even know anything about & Juliet, but I'm sure they would find a reason to complain about it. But her as Storm, I've heard people complain that she's too light to play Storm. Now, because it's a community-driven discussion, I tend to stay away from that for myself because I know that colorism is a big deal in the Black community, and I don't want to jump into a conversation where I'm doing that. But I will say from the standpoint of what to expect from her as a theater actor playing Storm, I think that's the perfect combination, in my opinion.
I think that's such a brilliant idea to look for theater actors for Storm. That is so much of her character is that she getting someone that can do monologues and can be very theatric is such a brilliant idea. And I love that it's this is someone's career. They just handed someone a lifelong career with this role. She's never done a movie before until this, and it's here's the rest of your career right here. Have fun. And I think that's my favorite thing with this. Some of the this entire cast is very much how the early MCU made sure Downey was always going to be Iron Man, that Evans was always going to be Chris Evans in a different way. These characters are always going to be these characters for the rest of time, and they can really define themselves in these characters.
Well, they're in a franchise now where they're locked into a continuity. It's not a separate little 3 or 4 X-Men films. It's a full on. The crossover capabilities are there for these characters. Anybody have any thoughts on Maya Boyd? I don't know a lot about her, so
I haven't seen her in anything. I don't know how good she is. I'm assuming she's solid. I think I kind of agree with a lot of what you said. I think the idea of grabbing somebody with a theater background, somebody who knows how to kind of steal the stage at a moment's notice, I think that's a great idea, especially for a character like Storm. So yeah, I'm intrigued to see what she does.
All right, lastly, probably the one that I'm hearing the most complaints about out of everybody is Rogue, because we have Indy Navarrete from Superman and Lois, where I know her from because I'm an OG fan, and the Obsession movie where she was absolutely incredible. And I know, Joe, you didn't really like Obsession. I don't know how you felt about Indy's performance in it.
I actually thought her performance was kind of terrible. Right. I don't think she's a bad actress. I liked her on Superman, but I thought she just was hamming it up so much. Like I said, every time she was on screen, the entire audience like burst into laughter. And I'm like, she's just too goofy.
That's such a weird thing because I saw the movie twice and none of the audiences that I were in did that. It's so weird.
I only saw it once, but yeah.
I got to watch it again because somebody told me it may have been the audience you saw it with.
Yeah.
Because you know, laughter is contagious, and when the whole theater is like, but it felt like very cheesy, and over the top in that moment. So I do need to watch the movie again. But but like I said,
I mean, whatever your opinion is of it, I'm not trying to change your mind about it.
Oh no, well, I mean, I often go back and revisit things a couple times to see if I saw Scream 7 in the theater 3 times and I hated it. But I kept trying to not hate it because I love Scream.
I happen to think that she, in my opinion, I think she did a fantastic performance in Obsession. It's probably, and Joe, I might be wrong on this, but I think it might be one of those performances like a decade from now where people look back and say, this was like a once in a lifetime performance from Indy. Like, it's one of those things where, do you disagree with that, Darren, or you agree with
No, I think it's easily the best performance of the year so far. I think she should get the Oscar or at least be nominated for it. I don't know. I feel like you're right. This is a once in a lifetime performance from that character. Like
I've heard other people say that as well. Like I'm not saying that out of a bubble of my own head. Like I've heard other people that have reviewed the movie talk about how her performance in that movie is something that they'll be studying because of the range of emotion she has to go through in scenes, and how she has to switch so quickly in moments in the movie. So
and I think that's why she got Rogue. Like Rogue is a character that needs to pursue these other personalities and needs to kind of have these out of body experience in her performance. And I would not be shocked at all if the casting crew or maybe even Kevin himself was like, who's this woman? Who is she that's doing this right now? Like I see Rogue in a little bit of what she does in Obsession when she's kind of out of her normal self, I guess.
I will say this. You mentioned some controversy or negativity towards her casting. I'm not seeing that at all. All my social media...
there's 2 things specifically that I can tell you that I've seen. One of them is one of the dumbest things, which is that she only got hired because of how good she was in Obsession. Right. Because she was good in Obsession. That's typically how the industry reacts. You get hired based on your good performances.
I'm telling you right now, like after Obsession, it's like she's a rising star, and Kevin Feige and Marvel was like, okay, let's see if we can get her down to like a 50 movie contract before she costs $1 billion. That being said, I'm excited to see what she does with Rogue. I love Rogue. I think she's a solid actress. I'm excited to see this.
The other one that we're getting is that she is not, and this is the one that I'm seeing more in the Chud space, which is that she's of a mixed background. She's biracial, is what they're saying.
I'm so it's acting, people. It's fucking acting. Let's see if they can do the role.
The one I've seen.
This is so. I just want to nip this in the bud. I don't give a fuck. Like, here's the thing. I have never had a conversation where somebody's been like, Rogue is so tall. I've been reading these comics my entire fucking life since I was a kid. And never once have I had a conversation with somebody who says that Rogue is such a tall character. Can you see how tall she is? I've never heard this. And by the way, the other actresses in line for this role were also short. So if we didn't get Indy, the other 2 people would have also what was it like? Who were the other 2? What's her name? She's on a TV show that's on HBO Max. Can't remember. But either way, the other actresses were also short. So like saying that she's too short, no matter who got cast out of the 3 they were really looking at, all of them were going to be short. So that's not really a negative for Indy. It's just, there it is, Callie Spaney and I can't ever get that other girl's name right. I feel so bad. Azari something?
I would also like to point out, Tom Cruise is like 3 feet tall. It's not big.
Yeah.
We had Hugh Jackman who was too tall for Logan for years.
Oh, Odessa, that's her name. Odessa Azion. Yeah.
Height is such a non-issue in like the movie space. Like it's about how we shoot the actors.
Zari, who the
like,
fuck is Zari? But by the way, does that sound like a character from a comic book? It probably is. But my thing is, if somebody's height is important to their story, like this character is known for being a tall character, and it's one of the defining character traits, maybe. But we're talking about a character in the comics where the height quite literally hasn't mattered for the character.
Yeah. Just shoot her taller if you need her to be taller. Just like shoot it that way.
And regarding the ethnicity, I mean, I did hear that I found out she's half Mexican, but I wouldn't have known that if I didn't read that. Like, I mean, she doesn't like. And what do you call it? Are these people the people who get so hung up on ethnicity? Do they hate The Godfather? Because James Caan isn't Italian.
I just want to tell you guys, Odessa and Callie are both 5 feet tall. Like one is 5'2", one is 5'5". So no matter who they chose that was in the running for this role, they were all going to be shorter.
Yeah.
So, and if you like Rogue being tall, I'm pretty sure you're going to be fine. I don't think she's going to walk around in the movie and look like somebody from The Wizard of Oz. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not going to happen.
Someone also brought up that she wears boots most of the time in the comics and stuff.
With heels.
Yeah, you can totally put her in.
I mean, Lord of the Rings exists. It's called filming by perspective. You could make her taller if you wanted to. But my thing is, the background about her being like, you know, part Mexican and I think her mother's from Australia or something. I can't remember. But regardless of that, I knew they would latch on to something like this because they did the same thing with Rachel Zegler in Snow White. They did the same fucking thing. Mm-hmm. So I suspect it's going to be something like that. We're going to see these guys coming after it, which I want to point out, it will be another L for them because regardless of whether or not the movie is going to be good, ultimately, the first weekend will be incredible.
Oh, God, yes.
The opening weekend for this will be incredible. By the way, we have those dates now. Let me see if I can pull them up so we can look at the dates because now we know.
What did I say? I called this weeks ago.
Yeah, so here are the dates. The X-Men movie is going to be May 5th, 2028, so it's going to be kicking off the season. Ghost Rider is going to come out smack dab in the middle of the summer in that Spider-Man time slot. And then we're going to get Black Panther 3 in December in the big Avengers time slot. So this is going to be, this could arguably one of the biggest years Marvel has had with original movies in a while, because Black Panther is a third in a franchise, but X-Men and Ghost Rider are brand new IPs for them in terms of films. So what do we think? Good year for Marvel, bad year for Marvel? I think 2028 is going to be a good year just based on
I think they'd have to seriously drop the ball for it to be a bad year, honestly.
I think they're making a mistake putting 3 movies out. I think that's a mistake.
But that's the formula they had before.
That is the formula they had before, but I think they should. I think you got to ease back into it. Like, I mean, they're starting to build their momentum again with Spider-Man and Avengers. I think maybe 1 or 2 more years with 2 movies would be better before you. I mean, I think they could easily get back to 3 movies a year, but I think maybe they're going a little too quick.
I think these 3 movies overperform.
Yeah, I think with X-Men leading the pack, I think they're fine for 3 movies.
Ghost Rider does sort of depend on how well Starfighter does, because if that movie knocks it out of the park, that production team is the team working on Ghost Rider. So
I think all 3 of these are going to do respectable. I think X-Men and Black Panther are going to do really well. Ghost Rider is a question mark.
I think Ghost Rider does well because this is just my own feelings. This is not based on any real shit. I think Ghost Rider might be in Secret Wars. I feel like we might see him before, and so it's almost like a spinoff or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
I kind of agree with you, Joe. I'm not fully there.
Yeah.
I will say I don't like how close X-Men and Ghost Rider is, because X-Men will still be in cinemas while Ghost Rider is in theaters, and I never loved that. Like we saw
maybe
that
it could be an opportunity to tie it in though. Like if X-Men leads directly into Ghost Rider, then you might be able to build that momentum.
Maybe
I don't know. It's a we'll see.
I think without a doubt the biggest question mark here is Ghost Rider, Because Ryan Gosling is definitely a movie star, but like, yeah, his track record is not perfect. I mean, obviously he had a hit with Project Hail Mary, but Fall Guy last year, while I thought it was a totally decent movie, did not bring in the money.
I will say we got information on Starfighter quickly with Sean Levy and Ryan Gosling. They put footage out, but it's not available online anywhere. That movie is going to be May 28th of next year. And the new official synopsis centers on a cynical rogue whose mysterious past throws him into a galactic adventure. They gave the name, but I don't see it here in the article that I'm reading. Cade Aberon. And there's a young sidekick. And this movie has Matt Smith, Mia Goth, Aaron Pierre, Simon Burge, Emil Westman, Daniel Ings, and Amy Adams are all in this movie. In the Starfighter movie.
Really quick, Eric, I sent you something that goes with this Marvel thing. I don't know if you have collected it yet or not, but it kind of goes directly into this.
All right. I'll pull that up in just a second. I just want to say though about the Marvel Starfighter or the Starfighter thing, very quickly. This is 5 years after the events of Rise of Skywalker. After.
That's interesting.
5 years after. Yeah.
Is this our first project post? Like,
I was about to say, is this the latest in the Star Wars?
I guess outside of Ninth Jedi, which is like 1,000 years in the future, or something like that.
And they say this movie is, and we'll have to wait and see. But they said on stage with the announcement that this is a fully standalone film. It does not require you to look at anything else connected to Star Wars to enjoy it. So we'll see. We had Jake join us. Jake has joined the fray.
Oh boy.
What's up, Jake? While we pull up what Darren sent over to me, do you want to give your thoughts on the casting announcements for the X-Men since you weren't here for that?
I think for the most part, I'd say I really dug the castings. Granted, there are some of the actors that I'm just not as familiar with their work. Like the one for Cyclops. I know he's in that Heartstopper series I've heard Darren talk about a handful of times. I haven't seen any of his work, at least that I can think of off the top of my head, to really judge his acting. So that one I'm kind of fresh on, as well as Maya Boyd, the Storm actress. Have seen nothing from her. And honestly, I'm kind of happy with that they're going with a lot of people that are relatively unknown. Like, that's, I think, the right move. I always say whenever you're casting for these roles, you do the Kevin Conroy approach of going for actors that no one's really heard of, but who have the right instinct. And it seems like they're doing that there. I think we kind of called before the official announcement happened that it was likely that Indy was going to get one of the X-Men roles in this upcoming movie. Weirdly enough, people, like, after being, excuse the pun, obsessed with her for a while since her big breakout movie. Now all of a sudden that she's getting big work outside of that, they're turning around saying, "Oh, this is going to be terrible. Of course she gets this, blah, blah, blah." It's like, you guys were loving her until the internet told you to do the opposite. So the fact that they just have them running around like sheep is hilarious.
The fact, and if they didn't cast her in X-Men, I guarantee you those same people would be like, "Oh my God, why didn't they cast Indy Navarrete? She'd be right there."
Bob, you were on the fucking money, man.
Like I was saying earlier, though, my timeline is filled with praise. Like, I'm seeing a genuine excitement. Like, I haven't seen the controversy.
I'm seeing mixed. I'm seeing
most of the people I know, like people I know, strangers, my Facebook, my Twitter. It's just been.
Maybe you just have a very nice Twitter, Joe. Maybe
I'm seeing mixed as well, but I think Eric and I might have kind of mixed up algorithms compared to a lot of people.
By the way, before we, go ahead, Jake.
I was just going to finish off and say the Xavier actor again is another one I have no reference for his prior work, so I can't really judge. Adam Driver is Sinister. I'm like, all right, it's a lot better than him as Magneto, because that's just one casting that I was not able to gel with. Before this whole announcement dropped, I was like, okay, I could maybe see him as Sinister. I honestly said that I think Tom Ellis from Lucifer would have been a really good Sinister, but we're gonna see what we'll see what Adam Driver does. Yeah. I find it a little odd that they picked him to go for it, not necessarily because of his acting, but he hates the convention space and just that whole side of that culture. So I guess I was just find it odd that they would pick somebody to go on a long form contract that so adherently dislikes that space, and that's just the nature of things in general. So, but we'll see how it goes. I'm not worried about the people that I know. I'm not worried from an acting standpoint.
All right, so here's the situation. We are now 2 out of 10 super chats in Reloaded, and we are 3 out of 5 in debunks. So we're gonna do something different. This is gonna be for a big stream. This is a top 10 list. Okay.
Oh,
these are top 10s. Top 10. These are the choices: 1, 2, 3, or 4. If we hit the goal. Top 10 favorite movies of all time. Top 10 favorite actors of all time. Top 10 worst films of all time. These are all according to your own personal takes. Top 10 favorite animated films of all time. So those are the options.
Can everybody create a bunch of burner accounts and equally vote for all 4, please? No, I'm kidding, right, Eric. We have enough burner accounts in here.
That's true. Superior Nav goes, seems like X-Men Evolution is the inspiration when it comes to this X-Men lineup. In my video that I made on Saturday, where I talked specifically about this, I said that even though I have no issue with X-Men Evolution or any of the animated X-Men stuff, there was a part of me as a fan of that OG X-Men lineup that I had growing up reading comics that I wanted to see Marvel tackle. So the Jean Grey stuff kind of bummed me out a little bit, but I was willing to give it a go. Then to see this lineup, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. I think they're just going to make all of the kids roughly around the same age, no matter what era they came from. And that's fine, I guess. But I either wanted to see the lineup from the OG 5 or the relaunch in the giant size from 1975. Those were the 2 eras that I was looking at, but I knew it was a long shot, pun intended. It was a long shot to get those rosters, because the most popular era for X-Men was the 90s. Like that was the most popular era, and that era mixed and played with the lineups a lot more with like the gold team, the blue team, and then all these other things. So
I also don't think we've seen the complete lineup yet either.
No.
That's true.
We haven't. But
be more,
but the fact that they're casting characters like Storm at the same age as like Jean Grey tells me that most of the students are going to be around the same age.
Yeah, I think I would imagine the MCU is going to do what the MCU has always done, and it's take inspiration, not adaptation. Where they're going to probably take pieces of that original run. I do think we're getting Iceman up in here, which is part of that, if I'm not mistaken. And then obviously I think there is going to be a lot of inspiration from the 90s show, obviously. But yeah, I would have to
I've just always thought of the OG 5 as like the mentors to that second generation, with the exception of Wolverine, who was old as fuck.
Because like we're likely getting Beast too, so
I mean, I see chats talk about Wolverine too. I would just say I would like them to maybe, obviously they'll lose something for Wolverine. He's too big a character. But I was thinking maybe give him a standalone movie before you put him with the X-Men. Let the X-Men stand on their own for a minute.
I think they should do a whole trilogy before they even put him in here. Like I think you should have a whole trilogy of X-Men movie when they're by themselves without Wolverine. You can give him his own solo franchise for a while, where it's like set in like the past, and you're seeing his journey through, and up until this point. But especially if you want to do anything with a Sadie Sink, you have to wait a minute. I don't think you could even consider doing that until this cast is a little bit older, in my opinion.
I mean, you could just not do that particular angle.
You could. You could very easily. Yeah.
Frodo Cop with the 499. Go ahead, Jake. What are you gonna say?
I don't think that in this first movie we're going to see Wolverine or Magneto.
I don't think so either. Yeah. I think that's probably not going to happen. Frodo Cop with the 499 super chat says, I'm willing to bet. How much are you willing to bet, Frodo? I'm willing to bet Ghost Rider doesn't make its release date. I'm expecting Starfighter to be underwhelming, hurting Star Wars franchise even more. I don't. But you would have to you'd have to like construct some sort of reason why, because right now the team putting together that movie have all been part of big successful things. So you're looking at Sean Levy, who took part in a $1 billion+ Deadpool and Wolverine movie.
Highest grossing R-rated movie.
Yeah, you got Ryan Gosling, who is an A-lister for, even if he's had a couple of stinkers, he's an A-lister in terms of actors in Hollywood right now. Probably one of the few true A-listers where people think of him as like a sort of a prestigious actor to get on board with something. He's coming off of some hot movies, especially Project Hail Mary, going into that. The writer for this is also connected with other properties that have done really well. And it's not connected to any of the Star Wars movies that people complain about. So there's so many things that are telling me this has a shot at being a good movie. I just don't see how I could come to the conclusion to agree with you that it's going to hurt Star Wars. I just don't see that. I mean, how can we hurt Star Wars even more? Apparently it's already dead, according to so many people. So I'm not really sure what else we can do. Mandalorian
I think it
Grogu
died 5 years ago. So
yeah, yeah, exactly. Mandalorian and Grogu underperformed, and they're still making more Star Wars stuff. So I don't really. I'm not saying you're wrong. It could be bad, but I'm just saying for me, I don't see that based on the talent involved with making the movie. So
its performance will have no effect on Star Wars.
I mean, even the other way around, I don't see why a Star Wars movie flopping would affect Ghost Rider at all. Like, the movie will have already been filmed. I assume mostly filmed, or at least halfway through production by the time this comes out. Like, you know, there's not much. I guess they could meddle in production, but like.
Yeah, I'm not talking about subjective opinions on the art of the movie. I'm talking about the material production value of these people invested with it, right? So you have someone that made $1 billion, like you said, Jake, the highest rated or highest grossing $1 billion movie of all, R-rated movie of all time, connected to it. You have someone who has a track record of really good movies that have performed well for the studios themselves. I mean, there's just like, you could say you don't like Ryan Gosling and you don't like Sean Levy, and that's fine, but they produce hit projects. So
how did X-Men Origins Wolverine even come up?
I don't know. Wait, did somebody bring it up in chat?
The thing you just pulled up had it in the comment.
He said X-Men Origins, yeah.
I was like, how does that even come up?
Oh, I pulled up the wrong thing. That was the wrong thing.
I was about to
really
say.
confused. I was like,
I read it off, but I was talking about the idea of the movie not doing well is what I was saying. But yeah, I pulled up the wrong comment. I thought I was pulling up that same comment again. Ryan Gosling can do no wrong. I don't know. He's not been... Not everything he's done has been well, but if you look back, he's been in bigger things than most actors.
He's on a roll with Barbie, Project Hail Mary, Star Wars, and Marvel. Like, back to back to back to back is
I think
insane.
his reaction at the Barbie Oscar really like improved a lot of people's perception of him too. About like him, but like him getting that and then him being really confused. Like,
I will ask though, since this was on screen, did anybody like Wolverine Origins or no? Jake?
I
like the opening credits.
I agree. I like the opening credits.
Is there a lot the movie gets wrong? Sure. Is there that little bit that it gets really right that I find myself enjoying? Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there we go. All right, so we're going to move the widget up in the corner, and then we're going to pull up the.
I'll be honest, they're like, I would probably watch that over Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix, and Last Stand.
No, I only brought that up, Eric, because they've revealed a new date. I think it was 2 days ago with November 9th.
You've just named the four X-Men movies I just do not like at all. So,
so we have Avengers Doomsday coming up. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say it. Finding things to like in those movies is not easy.
No. Before we look at these dates, I want to just tell a quick story because I went today to see the end of Oak Street again for a second time, and when I went to get tickets for that today, it was pretty busy. But I noticed that my local theater, the one that never sells tickets in advance, is selling Doomsday tickets in advance, and they were sold out of like most of the showings. They had to open up another showing, and I finally got tickets for that showing, which is early Friday morning. I can't even get it on Thursday. I'm gonna keep checking. If they do another Thursday showing, I'll buy the Thursday tickets. But my local theater, it's a tiny theater. It's only got like eight actual spaces in it. Never sells tickets more than 2 weeks out. But I talked to the manager today, and he said that Spider-Man Brand New Day was such a massive thing for them that theaters now have faith that Doomsday is going to be another massive movie. So they put their tickets on sale early. And like I said, they've already sold out on Thursday completely. They have no room on Thursdays. Crazy. So I'm going first thing Friday morning. But if I can get a seat seeing it Thursday somewhere else, I'll still go Thursday. I might still go Friday to see it. But that's pretty cool. So we have that on December of this year. Next year we have Avengers Secret Wars. And then we have X-Men, Ghost Rider, Black Panther. And now you're saying here, you're bringing up the 2029 slate. Mm-hmm. So it looks like we're leaning in close to that same schedule, which is May, July, and instead of December, we have November, probably because Disney's putting something else out.
Probably Avatar.
It's
probably Avatar in December. Or Star Wars, I guess.
When does Frozen come out?
27.
Okay.
Although there's 2 of them coming, so I guess it could be 29. I don't know.
Oh, there's 2?
Yeah, they're doing 3 and 4 at once. It's like one large story. That's not what we're here to talk about, though.
Yeah.
But no, I just thought it was interesting that we are now like prepping for the next 2 years post Secret Wars. Like, I think it's interesting that they're gathering up their stuff. November is interesting. We haven't had a lot of like November Marvel movies, have we?
No.
I think Thor Ragnarok was November, right?
I actually think that Wakanda Forever was November as well.
Or Ragnarok, Wakanda Forever, The Marvels.
That was one of my big issues with Black Panther.
Wasn't it?
The Marvels was November.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my big issues with Black Panther. They put out Thor in November, and then Black Panther, the first Black Panther, came out in the following February. And I kept saying, I just saw this movie.
Okay, Jake, you are
correct. What's that?
Jake's right. For some reason, I thought it was like a summer movie. You're right, Jake.
Yeah. No, I was about to say the summer movie of 2023 for Marvel was Guardians, technically.
Okay.
Without any other information, what do we think slots into some of those dates in 2029? Without any, like, based on nothing, really.
Well, I mean, I think we have to be prepared. Almost certainly one of those is going to be a Spider-Man.
That would be Sony, not Marvel.
Well, yeah, but... Yeah.
I think Shang-Chi 2 and Doctor Strange 3 have to be.
I was going to say one
of those. Yes, when are those coming out? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Blade!
No. We don't know what the landscape is going to look like.
Wars?
I mean, they could quite possibly do Armor Wars, maybe.
Probably a Fantastic Four sequel.
Ooh, yeah.
Well, they're already very committed. I know people like to joke about Fantastic Four, but they're very committed about continuing with that Fantastic Four group. So
the only reason I'm hit or miss on that is because they would have done Fantastic Four, Avengers, Doomsday, and presumably Avengers Secret Wars back to back to back. So I could see them being like, take like 2 years off. Just take a couple years. We'll get back to you in a second. But maybe. I don't know.
They don't want to run into a multiverse saga problem where they have a character in something and then you go 3-4 years without seeing that character again.
Sure, but it wouldn't.
I feel like we're not going to get the era of just introducing new characters every year. I think that's gone for Marvel. I think with Ghost Rider, that's the one new character we get. The X-Men we're going to meet, I think, in Secret Wars, at least some of them.
Might even see.
We've already met Jean Grey for sure. Yeah, well, you're right. He could be there. But I think the days of like dropping multiple new IPs a year, that's over with for now. I think we might get one new IP and maybe 1 or 2 sequels or something that's proven.
Am I crazy for thinking like Champions?
It depends on what that special is in 2028. Honestly,
sure.
We know we're getting Werewolf. We're getting Werewolf by Night Part 2, so we know that's coming.
I mean, since they've waited so long, maybe we can get the Middle-Age Avengers.
Oh my God, the Middle Age. Joe, you got to jump out of here. You said you're fading.
Yeah. I'm falling asleep at the desk here.
Okay, go get some sleep, and we'll talk with you later.
All right.
See ya. Yeah, I don't know.
Eric, I didn't realize you were that boring. Kidding.
Yeah. I feel like Look, only because I love the character so much, I want to see another Doctor Strange movie sooner than later.
Yes.
I think Doctor Strange has to be on there. It'd be weird if it wasn't.
You know what?
I actually feel like. Go ahead, Jake. Sorry.
Hot take. If they really stick the landing with that third movie, you could have the best MCU trilogy.
Someone said Nova. That's actually a strong possibility.
It could be because, like I said, I don't think we're going to get multiple new IPs, but Nova could be slotted in the middle, sandwiched in between two like more popular things. So like we could see like Doctor Strange 3, Nova, and then something else. Or Doctor Strange could be in November. May could be something else.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Well, the first Doctor Strange came out in November.
Is there a world we get X-Men again? Like another X-Men thing?
I could see a Wolverine standalone, but I don't think we're gonna get X-Men.
Or another X property, like something else.
Sure. Yeah. Storm. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Or X Force, like we could get an X Force
Alpha
movie,
Flight.
Deadpool 4.
I could see Wolverine solo.
We could get Deadpool 4, which has a bunch of mutants in it.
That's true too.
Yeah. Get Alpha Flight. No, I'm kidding. I would love it, but we're not gonna get it.
Yeah.
It would be really weird to get Deadpool though, because I'm pretty sure they'd want Sean Levy to do it again, and with him working on Ghost Rider, they might not want to try and put something else into production while he's working on Ghost Rider. I don't know.
I mean, it would just continue the trend of every Deadpool movie being the highest grossing R-rated movie when it comes out, because that happened with 1, it happened with 2, and it happened with 3.
Yeah.
God, can you imagine how much money they'd make if they did Deadpool and Spider-Man?
Oh my God, so much money.
Make a lot.
And they can make it funny and do Deadpool and Wolverine and Spider-Man. Just keep adding names to the title.
Yes. The thing is, you could make Deadpool completely work in a PG-13 environment with Spider-Man, because he started as a PG-13 character. He wasn't always so vulgar in his original comics, and anyone who tries to say otherwise hasn't read them. And also, they just proved that an R-rated character like Punisher can work in a PG-13 Spider-Man environment. So,
like, handle them like they did Punisher and Brand New Day. Listen, I have issues with Brand New Day. Punisher isn't one of them. I loved Punisher.
No, and like early bits of Deadpool's humor was not that he was necessarily so vulgar. It was that he was saying the most outlandish, stupid things like "Holy chimichangas" or something ridiculous like that.
You could pretty much just do the comic book thing too and just bleep them out too.
I mean, like that happened. Like every time they were gonna have Frank drop the F-bomb, they just webbed his mouth shut. So.
Yeah.
So we're gonna watch the trailer for Doomsday. This is the one that got re-released. Which, by the way, I was one of the few people that said they'd probably do this, and everybody was like, "No, they're not going to do it."
I had a feeling that like this, they were just going to re-release the one that they showed at Hall H.
Pause. Hello.
YouTube is terrible on streaming,
guys. YouTube is killing this stream.
It is 100%. All right, let's go ahead. We're going to watch this. It might be taken out. I don't know. Are people having copyright issues with this trailer?
I feel like it's Disney. You should be fine.
No.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at Doomsday, the teaser. What do you say, Bob?
I was going to say Disney is not quite as clear. Like Disney usually is okay, but they did take down my Ahsoka trailer when I did watch that.
Oh, okay. We'll look at that tonight, but it'll get removed from the stream probably. So here we go.
Victor was always the smartest guy in every room. He used to be different. He used to be kind, he used to be caring. And then everything he loved was taken from him. I knew he was lost, but I did not realize that he was broken.
Victor, did you do this? All of you have lived stolen lives. But now you must give them back. Answer me, Victor! Did you do this? I swear, you will beg for hell long before I grant it. Hell answers to me. For I am Doom.
I do want to point out, I think it's here. Let me find out where it's at in the trailer. There's a couple of
they are in
things.
one world under Doom.
Yeah. So we have this suit here, right? This is different. This suit is different than the one we see here when he's jumping from the ship, and he looks like he's time slipping or something. Let me see, where is it at? It's right around this area here. See, on this one, it's got this chain thing on the side. It's not the same suit. They're two different suits.
Maybe I've noticed that.
So we'll see here when he jumps and lands. So there's one suit. And then here at the end, he's wearing the suit that has the double latches on them for the cape. Yeah, he has two suits. So the thing is that I believe that we're going to meet a Doom that is not a villain and a Doom that is a villain.
I mean, to piggyback off that, we might meet a Doom that is RDJ and one that's not.
True. There's been people like zooming in on the eyes inside the suit, trying to figure out like if it's him in every frame or whatever. But it's also not. It's not uncommon for Doom to have multiple suits. We also have Doom bots as well. So there are other things that could be going on, right? But Doom bots, at least the ones that I remember, don't have like eyes inside of them. They're just robots.
I mean, they're just
MCU.
Their heads are basically like Doom masks.
Yeah.
But there is a rumor that he's going to be time slipping like we get in Loki season 2. And
I mean,
that's why we end up with these weird things from Doom. Because there's a shot where he's like flying down. We saw it a second ago. Let me find it. And I'll slow it down so we can watch it right here.
I think that would kind of explain Loki's presence in the movie.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so let's mute it, and we're going to run it very slowly. Let's see here. Playback speed. Let's go very slow as I can go. All right. And we'll see here where he's jumping from the ship. Has it already happened? I think it might have already happened. I think I missed it already. Yeah, where is it at? Where is he jumping from the ship at? Is it right here? Yeah, right here. Look. So you can see when he's jumping, there's this weird effect on him. Like, look at that. Like, did you see that? Let's watch again. There's like a weird, like, shimmery black smoke effect. Watch as he gets closer to the camera.
Could just be. Oh yeah, I do see it. Looks like
and it looks very similar. Yeah, it looks very similar to like time slipping.
Okay.
Well, listen, Doom, of course, he doesn't have any powers of his own, but he's so damn smart that he can give himself whatever power he wants. So.
Well, it's with Doom. It's always been a combination of magic and science, which is what makes him so interesting. Is how he uses the two things together.
I mean, there's literally been stories where he's had the power of Odin. So
yeah, absolutely. But it's like, what if Doctor Strange were Iron Man? I mean, that's essentially what Doom is.
Which is why I've always they've said it's not Tony Stark, but I'm like, it could very easily just be an alternate reality Tony Stark who went evil.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably not going to be the case, but I've always thought that like it could be a Doom that doesn't look like RDJ, but sees these like things of RDJ being like this great hero in our main universe, kind of like you saw Deadpool get flashes of the other Avengers in Deadpool and Wolverine, and he melds his face to look like Tony Stark. Could be how it goes down.
I've heard that too. Yeah, I've thought about that too.
I mean, it would explain the horrible scars that are typically on Doom's face from that sort of prosthesis.
Maybe it's how he covers him up in this. Who knows?
But overall, much better trailer than the one we got.
I agree.
Initially.
Yeah.
I think this one gives a little bit more context to what's happening in the movie and what the motivations are.
I definitely feel like the Doomsday trailers have been getting better as they've been coming out. Because I remember the first Captain America one being like,
I don't know why they just didn't put this one out. Like, it came out a couple days after they released the first trailer. And I was like, you should have just waited till Comic-Con and just released it to everybody. Just let everyone have this. And I feel like, because there was like a weird perception after that first trailer came out. Like, a lot of people loved it, obviously, but there was a lot of people who were like, I don't know. You know, like some people who were on the fence stayed on the other side of the fence after that first trailer. And I don't know, I've seen mostly positive things about this one. I feel like most people are like, oh yeah, this feels like the vibe they should be hitting. But no, I loved it. Great trailer.
We'll see what happens.
Also want to point out, because this was the thing I wanted to talk about a little bit, and then we're going to watch the trailer for Vision Quest and Ahsoka. Spider-Man Brand New Day has officially reached $2 billion.
the little indie movie that could.
And Tom Holland is going to make over $100 million alone off of the movie because of the deals he made in his contract. So 20 million base pay and 100 million in extra for how well it performed at the box office. Because the $2 billion mark comes with a big bump in pay for the actors. Like when you reach that $2 billion, if your agent is an agent worth anything, you put something like that in your contract. If this movie makes $2 billion, I get money, right?
Yeah.
So
that combined with the Odyssey,
And I can't stop thinking about how both Tom and Zendaya are getting the paycheck from both going into the same home. Like, dear God, they are.
We have. This is like, it's been a while since we've had an A-list couple like the two of these actors. You have Zendaya, you have Tom Holland, both incredibly successful in Hollywood, and together in a relationship that doesn't seem to be toxic or bad. I mean, maybe we'll find out years from now it was, but right now it's not.
Listen, Eric, we already had Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. All right, come on.
Right? Yeah.
Who remembers reading that on headlines?
I've seen people saying that this makes Spider-Man the safest bet for superhero movies in the world.
Oh,
yeah.
Do we agree?
Yeah, I mean, I could have said that 20 years ago. 20 years ago.
He said $3 billion movies in a row.
And
I mean, if you count like Infinity War and stuff, that's
I mean, Far From Home, No Way Home, and this new one are all billion-dollar movies.
Yep.
Yeah, but then like Endgame and Infinity War were also billion-dollar movies. So
I mean, he's in
Odyssey.
Oh yeah, but like just talking about Spider-Man led movies.
Oh, sure. You're correct. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood the thing we were saying. Sorry.
But this is why when you brought up Spider-Man, Darren, I think we're talking like maybe a 3-year turnover before another Spider-Man movie. I think that they're gonna start writing a script right away with Destin. I think
I could see maybe a script being done while he's working on Naruto, and then as soon as he's done directing, he'll be like, "All right, get over here. You're on your next project."
I thought you were talking about Tom Holland for a second. I'm like, what's he doing in Naruto?
No.
By the way, having Destin come off of this movie into Naruto, like that's extremely good for that movie as well.
They're gonna let him do whatever the fuck he wants after giving him $2 billion. Like any movie he wants it's his at this point.
Yeah,
like just
it's like Nolan after Oppenheimer.
Shang-Chi too?
Absolutely.
Which is going to be even more so the case after the Odyssey. Now they're like, all right, whatever the fuck you want to do, go ahead.
Nolan could make a movie on the moon and be like, all right, let's make it happen.
I mean, Darren, we already have Interstellar.
Yeah,
that's true.
Jay Bird says, but no Wonder Man season 2. I know.
Yeah,
I think look, it sucks, but I warned everybody. I want to go back to my warning that I gave everybody earlier this year. We're going to see stuff that we love, stuff that performed well, stuff that we think deserves more go away as we go through Doomsday and Secret Wars. That's just the reality of it.
Mhm.
It's going to get even worse. Prepare for it. In Doomsday, we're going to see characters go away that are never coming back again. That is it for them. Speaking of that, like the Fox X-Men, that's it. They're done. After Doomsday, I cannot see them ever coming back and doing Fox X-Men characters again.
I mean, I think they're in Secret Wars, but yes, I agree with that.
Well, yeah, between those two movies, I mean.
Yeah. I just had to be cheeky.
The only one.
Anarin says, starting to think Wonder Man. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
The only one I see maybe being a carryover is Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yes, Deadpool is going to stick around and maybe Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, but I think outside of that, they're all gone. Anarin says, starting to think that Wonder Man was canned because TV is done for the MCU. We talked about this a little bit last week. It's not the MCU. Disney Plus in general is cutting back on a lot of shows. They bolstered their library during COVID because they thought the future was streaming. And one of the things I want to bring up as well is when I went to the theater today, there were a lot of people seeing a movie at like 2:00 in the afternoon on a Tuesday, right? It's sitting in this, the end of Oak Street. The box office right now, there's a whole article on it. I'll probably make a video on this week for the Reloaded channel. The box office is set up for a very profitable year based on expectations. We're talking almost 11 billion. We haven't seen those numbers since 2019.
I mean, I remember specifically going to see Spider-Man on a Wednesday at 11:30 in the morning, be like, oh, the theater's got to be almost empty, right? Nope, almost full. Almost full.
Let me put it this way. Every movie I have seen this year, with the exception of Supergirl, has been packed theaters. Supergirl was the only one where we got tickets pretty easily. But even Mandalorian and Grogu. Sorry, go ahead.
When I think I told Darren this, but when I went and saw Obsession, it was like 5 weeks into his run. It was I did a back-to-back with me and my sister. We did Obsession and then Supergirl. Obsession, despite being 5 weeks into its run, jam-packed. And I dug the movie, but fuck, the audience was terrible. And right after that, like we'd seen Supergirl, again, opening weekend for that movie, theater was half empty.
Yeah. And look, we had like Mario Galaxy, which made $1 billion. We had Michael that made $1 billion.
Toy Story 5 made $1 billion, didn't it?
Somewhere Lance just woke up and got very happy.
There's been $5 billion movies so far, and let's be honest, Doomsday is also $1 billion movie.
And so Dune can make $1 billion. And Dune can make $1 billion.
Probably also.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. But I'm gonna find out what is the early tracking on Dune right now.
It makes $5, and that's it.
Oh, did you bring up Michael? Michael made $1 billion, didn't it?
Yeah.
It did.
So Patrick says, as a streaming bubble burst, I think that the answer to that is probably kind of yes. I think that we've reached a point where the cord cutting for streaming services is now becoming cutting the Wi-Fi for the streaming services and getting rid of them because there are too many of them and too many shows.
And they're still unreliable.
I feel like the answer to this question is not yes, it's not no, it's in certain aspects.
I would say that it feels more like cable TV now. If you grew up watching cable TV, that's where it's starting to feel like with streaming services.
I also think
I think that we're seeing I've been right about this so far, so I'm going to pat myself on the back with this one. Yes, 5 of them actually in different flavors. Not crumble cookies, those suck. I think we're going to see a shift for streaming services to go back to a weekly release or a hybrid weekly release for a lot of shows, because we're already seeing them do that in a lot of spaces. I think Netflix might still try to hold on to it for some things, but I think Netflix will eventually adopt that model at some point, because it's going to get to a point where you need to retain viewership and people need to feel like they're paying for something. I'll be honest with everybody, even though I love binging stuff, when I watch a show for 2 months and I'm paying like $12, $14 a month or whatever, I feel like I'm getting my money's worth because I'm actually using the app for a longer amount of time. And I know it's like placebo in a lot of ways because you're really still watching the same show. You're just doing it every week or whatever. But the conversations are better. We can come on here and we can talk about stuff as it's released each week. and you don't feel like you're getting spoiled on the whole show, right? So like tonight at the end of the stream, I'm going to set aside time to talk about Lanterns. I have some stuff I want to say about Lanterns. And if we had the whole season out, we couldn't do that because not everybody has had a chance to watch it, right? Or see it. There are people that hadn't been able to see some of the other shows I wanted to talk about. It's because binge watching is something that everybody just sort of adopted, but we're seeing people push back on that now, and people want to go back to those weekly releases. They want to be able to sit around and watch a show. They want 23 episodes a season again. I feel like we're going to see that happen as well. We're going to see production costs come down. We're going to see shows amp back up to more episodes. I don't think we'll get back to 23, but I think we're looking between 10 and 15, I think is fair for most shows. If you gave me a 15 episode season of a show right now, I would be really fucking excited for that, because 10 feels so short for so many things. And it just, I don't know.
I mean, I remember being excited when they initially announced Daredevil Born Again. They said, oh, it'll be 16 episodes. I was like, oh, a 16 episode season? No, it's 2 seasons. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I know this is different than what we typically talk about in here, but the like Victorious Netflix spinoff that they recently announced is going to have 26 episodes this season for its first season.
Really?
20 again, it's a different, it's like a children's sitcom, so it is a different thing than we typically talk about.
But it's 26 episodes. That's a long season.
Great. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Do we see a world where we get these network TV shows again? Where
I don't think on network TV. I think we're still going to be in some sort of a hybrid thing with streaming for a while. Only because right now the studios are still trying their best to hold on to like advertisers, and you're not going to get big advertising on streaming services, because right here Jason brings up a good point. You can't make money streaming shows you produce. You only make money on subscribers. And I think that is the big thing, is we have plateaued. I think a lot of these services have plateaued on subscribers. So the shows are now retaining, like we're on retention at the moment, trying to hold on to subscribers. And I think that's why we're seeing stuff like Wonder Man go away, because are we going to get people to subscribe for Wonder Man? No. Sure. Are we going to lose people because we don't bring Wonder Man back, considering we only thought it was a 1-season show? Probably not. So it felt like it was a safe thing for them to just cut cost on.
Here's why I brought it up, because I follow the like Disney Channel world a little bit by proxy, because I kind of keep an eye on that world. And they have a new show coming out. I think it's called like Coven Academy, and it's supposed to be like a more like mature Disney Channel show. And they recently switched it from a Disney Channel show to a freeform show. And I was like, oh, are they going to start pushing some of their more adult Disney Plus content to, not adult, but like more like teenage-ish adult content to freeform? Because, they have Disney Channel, which is for their younger generation. They don't really have a network where they can place their like young adult stuff anymore. And I was wondering, like what if they
stuff?
Sure. So like, are they going to push like Percy would they put like Percy Jackson and stuff on there? Could they put some of these Marvel shows on like a freeform? Like, are we going to see a world where they take these streaming shows that were meant for streaming, they're like, maybe we can actually get a larger audience if we push it out to like not even network TV, but more the cable TV again?
One of the things they could do is put it out on streaming first and then put it out on network later for advertisers. Like, allow streaming people to have like a year exclusivity on it or something. And then when the season 2 comes out on streaming, you put season 1 out on network television. I mean, that could be a good way to generate some additional revenue on it through advertisers. I wanted to pull this up quickly. It's about Spider-Man from Lone Wolf. Thoughts on the supposed Toby pics going around for Doomsday? I think they're AI.
They are AI.
If AI is all over the place.
If you're talking about the ones that I think you are, they are 100% AI.
I've seen 2 videos on it today on Facebook. I was scrolling and I'm like, they look like AI to me. So I don't think they're real. But
this sounds like so pretentious of me to say this because of my love for that IP and that character. I've seen a lot of fake photos going on of that character in this movie. I'm just going to say this. This is probably going to sound pretentious. I've seen those movies enough to know when they just pull an image from one of those movies and try to touch it up.
Yeah.
Because there's that image that I'm sure you guys have probably seen it, where it's like a quote-unquote set photo of RDJ, Hugh Jackman, and Tobey Maguire, where like Hugh Jackman's got Tobey Maguire in a headlock like this in a Spider-Man costume. three things wrong with that image. If you want, Eric, I can send it to you, so you can like analyze it. It's a little dated at this point, but it still shows like the lengths that people will go to try and just lie and say shit like that. If you want, I can send you the image.
Well, I don't want to get into a dissecting image thing right now while we're doing this. That would be a while. We could do it at another point, but we've got so much left to look at. We're already at hour 45. Have a good night, Ash. Thank you for being here. Before we watch the trailer, I want to remind everybody that we are now 3 out of 5 super chats on debunks, and we are 3 out of 10 on Reloaded. If you would like for us to talk about any of these topics, we need to reach at least one of those goals. And right now, favorite movies of all time is winning by 65%. It is a top 10 list. We've never done a top 10 list. I would really like to do one of these. So if you guys want to help with the goal, it's super chat of any amount. So even $1 counts towards it.
Guys, YouTube is killing this channel.
It is 100%. By the way, I looked up Dune's projected box office as of right now, and 900 million plus is the current projected box office for Dune 3. So we'll see if it gets there. All right, let's take a look. This is the trailer for Vision Quest, and I actually have stuff to say about the Jimmy Olsen show after we watch this trailer, because it all sort of ties together. I'm super excited for this show. I know a lot of people have said they don't really care about it. I think, Jake, you're not too excited about this one, right?
What, Jimmy Olsen?
No, Vision Quest.
Oh, Vision Quest. No. I mean, kind of. I don't care about Vision, but if they're gonna do something cool with Ultron, then I might be interested.
I was lukewarm on it until I saw the trailer. I'm like, okay, now they sold.
Sorry, I said Jimmy Olsen because I was reading something and I just saw that headline pop up. That's why I thought that.
That's okay. Darren, what about you? Before we watch it, are you interested in the Vision Quest show at all?
Yeah, it's my most anticipated for the rest of this year, probably.
Is it really?
This over Doomsday. I'll take this over Doomsday.
This is another look. I believe the WandaVision cinematic universe on TV has been really interesting, because we went from WandaVision to Agatha and now to Vision Quest, and they're 3 different shows, but they all exist in the same sort of like bubble. So
and they've all been fantastic.
We can break it down more when we finish the trailer, but like I like how Vision Quest seems to mirror WandaVision in a lot of ways.
Okay, let's go ahead and watch this then. Here we go.
Before you started working here, I remember when you'd come in all the time with that redhead.
I was a different person back then.
How about now? Anyone waiting for you tonight?
No. Home is just me.
It's like I'm losing my
Who am I? I was an Avenger, but I'm not a hero anymore. I have his face, but not his virtue. All I have is his name.
Welcome home, Vision.
This house is getting crowded, Vision.
Ultron! Human avatars only.
Sir, I cannot overstate the dangers of keeping him around.
Yes, but he is
Dad? Papa? Peepaw.
I'm a stranger to myself. That family wasn't real. You sure about that?
I had a father, a machine called Vision.
Muzzle tough. It's a boy. How is this possible? Free us all and save your son. I wish to understand my purpose.
With a genocidal maniac inside your head.
Nothing bonds a family together quite like mortal jeopardy.
All right. So you wanted to talk about it a bit more, Bob. What do you got to say?
Oh, well, I just love obviously we have WandaVision, where she was traumatized by the death of Vision, and she made this whole world for herself and did some terrible things to people, but like it was all in her grief. And now Vision on his own without Wanda, not subjecting people to it, but like has made a world for himself inside his own mind. I like how that's mirroring. I like how the stories are reflecting each other. I like how
Agatha did it too. Like all three of these shows have been about making these fictional worlds that we can escape into to hide from our grief and hide from accepting the real world. But also, like, both Wanda and Agatha felt so different in how they approached it and why they did it. And so it's not like, oh, they're doing it again. It feels unique.
No, it feels different
to its own. They're doing different things while following a similar theme structure, which I think is really cool, especially when you market it as a trilogy. Like, it feels like a trilogy. It feels like part 1, part 2, part 3, which I think is very fascinating.
Also shocked to see James Spader back. I was not expecting him to come back.
Oh my god, yeah. I'm more excited to see Jarvis. My boy from
Oh yeah. It's a lot of AIs in his head. It looks like there's fragments of all these AIs inside of his mind.
We'll see if James Spader can actually be properly utilized this time.
Well, the good thing is it's actually him, so he's going to be able to sort of throw in his own mannerisms and stuff like that. But the one thing I found interesting about this is this show is like a hybrid of the old Disney Plus Marvel shows and the new style, because they have a showrunner with Terry Matalas from Picard. People might remember from that. So they do have a formula similar to like old TV production, but it's also filmed in a similar way that like the cinematic shows were filmed, like the ones that came from the Prestige movie backgrounds.
6-episode event.
Sorry.
I never had an issue with the way the older shows looked, but it definitely, you could tell that they weren't made in a way so that it felt like it was episodic television. It felt like a movie chopped up into different episodes. And I think that was kind of the issue I had with some of the older Marvel shows that didn't really work well, which is why I still say that I think The Falcon and the Winter Soldier could have been pieced together into a 2-hour movie and worked really well, to be honest.
It would have been better than Brave New World.
Would have been a better Cap 4 than what we got.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but like even those like the first 2 shows, like while they were in that era, they did feel like shows. Like you couldn't do a WandaVision movie or even like an Agatha movie.
Yes, that's one of the ones that had to be a show. Yeah, there's some that did. I think Loki worked better as a show. Like those are things that I think function better as shows.
Not Wonder Woman. Wonder Man, I think also fits into that. But everything else. Yeah,
I'd say Hawkeye even felt like a show too.
I mean,
Hawkeye? Yeah,
I think Hawkeye did.
Well, I think WandaVision in particular worked really well as a show, because lots of times, like, it's been a while since I've seen it, but I just remember, like, it felt like every episode they would like jump ahead a decade and it'd be in a style, like a TV style format of that, and I really remember enjoying that.
Talking about like the parallels between these characters with what happened with Agatha and now what we're seeing with Vision is Vision's dealing with trauma in a way that's internalized. Like what Wanda was doing was an external representation of the trauma she was dealing with. Vision's is internal. It's inside of him. And so it's going to be really interesting to see how they make this work in his head, because I feel like the limitations are whatever he can imagine, and I actually am excited to see what this means for Vision as a character. When we reach the end of the series, does Vision continue on and just not go back to the Avengers and doesn't care about the superhero world, or do we see him return in like Secret Wars? Does he come back in Secret Wars and work alongside our characters as White Vision? Because we see that he, in his mind, he does the OG Vision colors now. So
and it's interesting. Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry.
I was just he's gonna make the West Coast Avengers with Wonder Man.
And like what's also interesting that I think people are forgetting. This isn't technically our Vision. This is a new Vision. This is the White Vision that has the memories of our Vision, and I think that's going to be a really interesting story to tell, where it's like, I'm literally not him, but I have all these thoughts and feelings and memories of him.
Which it's an interesting case study, because we're talking about someone that is phenotypically identical to the character that we knew, with the exception of it being white and not green and yellow and gold and purple. But but inside, all he is he's a shell that contains the memories of this other person. And what that looks like for humanity, like what makes a person who they are? Is it your memories? Is it who you are, how you express that outwardly? Because we see him interacting with people in the real world, and that's going to be him. That's the person that he is now after having the memories of the OG vision. So what does that look like? How does he function in that way? And how does his connection with his kid work in this? Because it's technically not his kid. Like, we're already dealing with this out of the ordinary situation where the kids were created through the trauma that Wanda had. But now we know that these kids also exist in other universes as real people. So there's that to deal with as well. It's a lot.
We're going to have Vision on stage, and then they're going to say, "You are not the father."
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so hyped to see Tommy as well. Like, I've been loving that journey of like the WandaVision kind of creating them, then having Billy and his journey in Agatha. And we know Billy's also coming in for this show, but like, how are they going to incorporate Tommy into this? How are they going to bring Billy? Is that like a post-credit scene to set up a Doomsday Secret Wars? Because we've heard, rumor has it, that this trilogy is important to Secret Wars. If that's true or not, we don't know. People just say shit online. I don't even know anymore. But
so
maybe they'll set up a fourth part in this trilogy.
So Darren, are you saying you want to see the grim adventures of Billy and Tommy?
Sure. No, I want champions. God damn it.
We did get a super chat from South Texas Shark bringing us to 4 out of 10. Thank you so much. Did you see that GTA 6 got another leak? I was just looking this up. So apparently a group calling itself Cyber Leak released a short series of gameplay clips alongside an image purporting to show the complete in-game map in the state of Leonida. The leakers published a manifesto protesting the push towards all digital gaming, demanding commitments regarding physical media and digital ownership from Rockstar and Take-Two. Now, Rockstar and Take-Two have filed DMCA copyright strikes to these actual leaks, but it seems like the leakers are doing this to push for, not doing away with physical media, which is why they're putting it out there. So who's the hero in the story here? I believe in physical media, so I don't know.
And then you're just gonna have someone at Sony step up and be like, "I am the villain of the story." I don't even know why I quoted that.
Yeah, that's funny. All right, we're gonna look at. Let's go ahead and do the Ahsoka trailer. Let me pull that up.
Someone's gonna watch this VOD. Someone's gonna watch this VOD and be like, "What Ahsoka trailer?"
Yeah, it's gonna be gone for sure. All right, we're going to watch this, and then we'll talk about it. I actually haven't seen this one. This is one that I haven't seen yet. So, thoughts on that?
I mean, it looks cool. I mean, I enjoyed the first season of Ahsoka. It kind of hit the Jedi itch. I felt like Andor and Ahsoka were like two sides of the Star Wars coin.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm up for this. I'm excited to see Hayden Christensen back as Anakin, as a Force Ghost.
They love to bring him back. He's getting, is it like a period of time where they didn't want to have him on anything, and now he's like every couple years he's in some Star Wars project.
So. And then you have all the people that were hating on the prequels pretending like they love him now, or that they've always loved him. That.
Yeah, I will stand by. I do not like the prequels.
No, I saw someone's video today where this isn't like Hayden Christensen, but just like it's the same kind of idea, and it just reminded me of it. I saw someone's video where they're like, "Oh, was the Green Lantern movie actually a misunderstood gem?" I'm like, "Yeah, this timing lines up."
Oh no!
This timing lines up perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't really get a thoughts on the trailer. I don't think I haven't really watched Clone Wars, and I haven't seen Rebels, and so.
Oh, yeah.
This is like I haven't or not much of them at least, and so like this is like asking someone who's never watched a Marvel movie to be like, "How do you feel about Endgame?" I'm like, this is probably great for people who give a shit about these characters, but I'm like casual, going through it. So
yeah, I really enjoyed season 1, and this is one of the Star Wars shows that I feel like you benefited from knowing a lot of the lore of the characters, but I had people that watched it with me that didn't really know much about the lore, and they still enjoyed the first season.
I was gonna say I did not see all of Clone Wars, and I haven't seen any Rebels, and I enjoyed season 1.
I saw most of the first season, and I think it works okay. But like I could tell throughout the season, being a show of like, oh, like people are getting it's very X-Men 97, where you don't have to have seen it, but if you have, you're getting a better experience off of the show, I'd say.
Chat, thumbs up if you're looking forward to this, thumbs down if you're not. I'm curious to where everybody lands on this one.
Well, a woman's leading it, so you might have a lot of negative results.
I'm already expecting. So we talked about the outrage people here on YouTube, the flop watchers on YouTube. There's not a lot left this year for them to go after. They're going after they're calling that, what I said, the end of Oak Street, like girl boss versus dinosaurs. But like that's not even the market that they cater to. Like the people that they talk to don't give a fuck about that one-off like movie like that. So that's not going to gain much traction for them. They're trying to go after Lanterns. They probably will go after it weekly because they don't really have a lot else to talk about.
I've seen them going after Lanterns already.
Rings of Power is probably going to be something they're going to go after because they did it last time. Yeah. This will be something, but this is still, it's not going to be out till next year, so I don't think we have to wait, or we won't have to worry about this for the rest of this year. But in terms of movies, they don't have a lot to go after. So... so they did recast Balin Skull. It is the guy that played the Hound, I believe, in Game of Thrones. I can't remember. Rory something? I can't remember his name.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like him as an actor, but...
Yeah, I'm curious to see how he's going to
fill.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Let's see. Ghost says... If anything is going to flop, it's going to be the X-Men movie in a couple years because I'm seeing a lot of people that are just not vibing with the X-Men casting.
I'd be shocked to see that X-Men movie flop.
I don't think it's going to. I think the X-Men movie as a franchise may eventually piss people off, but I think the first X-Men movie, depending on what happens with them in Doomsday and Secret Wars, is almost guaranteed to have a big opening weekend. I mean, I just feel like it is.
It's the first movie of the saga, the mutant saga. Comes out 6 months after Secret Wars. I don't think it flops. I don't. No.
Nope. I rebuke that one.
Especially with the cast we're getting, like Sadie Sink up in here. And coming out of Spider-Man, which was seen by $2 billion worth of people.
Yeah, Sadie coming off. I almost said Iron Man. Sadie coming off Spider-Man. You have Indy coming off Obsession. Yeah, like I'm not worried that this movie's gonna make money.
So this was shared. It says every film to make $2 billion at the box office here. And we have Avatar, we have Avengers Endgame, Avatar, Titanic, Niza 2, which I still don't totally understand how that movie made 2.2 billion. I've seen it.
It was all in China.
Yeah.
We have The Force Awakens. How do we feel about that, Star Wars fans? Being on there at 2 billion. Avengers Infinity War and Spider-Man.
It's the best of those.
I do want to point out, though, this was something that I looked up before. Avatar did a re-release because Endgame took the #1 spot in 2019.
Yeah.
And then in 2021, it did a re-release in China, and that's how it came back over that top end. Titanic crossed 1.84 billion, but then it reached 2 billion in its re-release in 2013 for 3D.
I was about to say Endgame's about to do another re-release. So.
Yeah, so Endgame is doing that. Yeah, it's gonna have a different title, right? It's Avengers Endgame Encore.
Under a different marker, yeah.
If it were just a re-release of Endgame as it is, and it might be like, oh, we made it upscaled or something.
I mean,
they would count that, but
it's still gonna make them money though.
Sure.
Well, it's almost. I hate to say this, it's almost free money because they're just doing that additional 7 minutes and they're putting it back in.
Do a quick edit and you're good.
Yeah.
Put $20 into it and
right.
Do we think 20 million probably. Infinity War?
Maybe.
Close.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think we have to look at it. It's still going to be in theaters for another 2 or 3 weeks. I think it's going to.
Mhm.
I think it can get close to 2.4, 2.5.
Yeah, I think
at this point.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say I don't remember what the numbers were, but I think there's a good chance it'll overtake Infinity War, but I doubt Endgame. I know
You got to think about the timing of when these came out too. You got to think about what the genre was like at that point.
Yeah, I don't think Endgame, but I could see it pushing off a couple of those other ones. I could see it. I don't know. We'll see. Because I mean, think about it. Like, what you got? Like Coyote versus Acne in a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing else in like the family genre really until like October, right? Well, I guess you have stuff in. Well,
what's coming out in October?
According to box office analysts, it's locked in at 2.4 billion now, unless it has a catastrophic drop off. So
okay.
What's coming out in October?
I know there's that new, nothing in October, but I know there's that new DreamWorks movie in September. Coyote vs. Acne is August, but
September. No, is that early September or late August?
What?
Coyote vs. Acme.
It's late August, yeah.
Okay. Mm.
I said a new DreamWorks movie is September.
Yeah.
Is that the one about like the two college friends? Is that what that is?
Mm-hmm. Forgotten Island? Yeah.
Okay. That's a topical name.
I wish I could forget that island.
What?
That was all very well aligned humor.
So Spider-Man Brand New Day, I just looked at the math. It's only 20 million away from Infinity War, which means it's definitely going to pass Infinity
yeah,
War.
it'll take that.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
It says here that it will pass Infinity War. It will probably pass The Force Awakens. And based on analysts right now, if it ends at 2.4, it will be number 3 because it'll pass Niza, Titanic, and Avatar Way of the Water if it gets to 2.4.
So it'll just be Avatar and Endgame beating it at that point.
Yep.
All Disney.
Jesus Christ.
You know, Disney just.
Oh yeah, that's right. The top 3 would be all Disney properties or Disney productions, I should say.
But guys, Disney is dead. Didn't you know that?
That mouse just keeps coming out for more cheese.
The crazy thing is that right now they're saying Spider-Man will probably end its box office run with 950 million in domestic, which is insane.
You know, I keep on waiting to see if there'll finally be a domestic $1 billion movie. It's just a matter of time. I remember wondering.
It says here that Spider-Man Brand New Day could get up to 970. So it could get really, really close in domestic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna send you this photo. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I'm gonna send you this graphic, Eric, I found on Twitter. I don't know how much you're gonna talk about all of the like D23 things, but I thought this was an interesting graphic.
Well, we can look at the graphic and discuss it with the graphic if that works. Because I have a few things, but they might all be on this graphic. Harrison says, expect the Brand New Day to be big, but top 3 of all time I didn't expect. Big congrats. I think, again, like I titled the video about Spider-Man being the safest bet in terms of like movies.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, with the money it's made, is this Spider-Man? It is a co-production between Disney and Sony. Disney does all of the heavy lifting. Sony literally just releases it to theaters, and
Disney and Marvel make it. Sony distributes it.
Well, no, Sony does. Sony doesn't even, like, people were saying this before, like you're saying, Jake, that Disney and Marvel made it. Sony doesn't even have input on the creative other than saying yes or no.
I was about to say they just have veto power about it.
Yeah, they could tell them no on something.
But they're not going to shoot something down if they think it'll make them money.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Based on what this movie did, I don't think they're ever going to stop them from making choices in that. By the way, and if anybody ever wants to question this about the production thing, do you think that Kevin Feige would let Sony, who made Morbius, Craven, and Madam Web, come anywhere near Jean Grey's first appearance in a movie? You are smoking crack. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, quite literally, you are high on something. Anyway, here's the graphic.
I only brought this up because I know we talk a lot about how Disney sabotages themselves.
Yeah.
Why are they releasing 2 movies in March, 2 movies in May, June, July? Like, they're so close to each other.
Yeah.
Why are they doing that?
Oh god!
So
Like I was like, they're doing Lilo and Stitch too. They already did that. Oh god, we're doing live action. Okay, we're doing
yeah. So the thing is, with March and March 31st, even though they're not the same production studio within Disney, they're both Disney animated projects. Yeah, and they're coming out within like what 3 weeks of each other. That's not good unless they really believe that this Pixar movie is going to make a ton of money in the first 2 weeks.
I mean, we're 2 years out, I think.
But they're also oversaturating the market because we know that these are the movies that people are paying to go and see right now, are these like family films. Then we have the X-Men film at the beginning of May and Lilo and Stitch at the end. I don't think that market crosses over though. I don't think we're going to see too much interaction with that. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. In June we get Incredibles 3, which is going to be a huge film. I mean, that's going to be I think that's $1 billion movie. I could be wrong, but I think that's $1 billion movie. Ghost Rider, and then we have Clay, which is that Disney animation or is that Pixar?
Disney. It's a Disney movie. Yeah.
All right. So we have that coming out, and then we have Black. So unless we have a couple of weird things where the beginning of the year, those movies kind of eat each other, like they just kind of destroy each other. This is a big year for Disney. Yeah. And I think I saw another post from someone about this. Let me pull this up. I'm not going to pull it up on screen, but let me pull it up for me to read.
They're releasing a superhero movie in May, June, and July.
Yeah. Where is it at here? I think I bookmarked it.
Actually,
yeah, this is the same thing that I saw. So this is from Luis Fernando, the only person I really engage with on Twitter. Yeah, all of these are mentioned. Incredibles, Ghost Rider, Pixar's. They're saying that this is going to be, or 2028 could be Disney's biggest global box office of all time, based on these releases, if everything plays out the way they expect it to.
I think the one that really worries me is Ghost Market. Like, it's an original Pixar movie, comes out the same month as Tangled, which I think Tangled.
They're not giving it much breathing room as a first film, you know.
Yeah.
We saw. Didn't they do this with Hoppers?
Yeah, Hoppers got
like
there.
Right after Hoppers, that like destroyed it or something.
Yeah.
Oh, that was Mario, which wasn't Disney, but still, like same idea. Where it's like,
well, they still picked the date though. They knew what it was up against. So
yeah. I don't know. I hope some of these shuffle a little bit. I hope like. I don't even know.
Oh shit!
How.
I did not realize Incredibles 2 was $1 billion movie.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Darren's like, unfortunately, kidding.
Hey, I just hope Incredibles 3 is better than Incredibles 2.
I mean, listen, I think it's always a good thing when animated movies do well. Like that makes room for other animated movies to happen and do well. So I'll never be mad. Like even if I don't like it, I'll never be mad about it. It's always a good thing. So
I feel like no matter what Incredibles 2 ended up being, and this is not like directed at any one person, but I feel like there was always a group of people that was never gonna like it, no matter what the movie ended up being, just because it's not the first one.
They did have the impossible task of coming off of the first movie, which is,
I mean,
one of the greatest ever made.
That being said, I like any Pixar movie over any live action remake.
Yeah, most of the time, I'd say.
I mean, this isn't Pixar, but the only one where I could say maybe the remake was better, but then again, I haven't seen either film in quite some time, is Peach Dragon.
Peach Dragon was all right.
I haven't seen either film in quite some time, so it would, you know.
I thought Jungle Book was all right as well, but yeah.
It was fine. It wasn't as bad as like Aladdin and Lion King.
Oh, Aladdin is fantastic.
Aladdin was passable, but
I don't love the Aladdin movie.
Aladdin.
All right, before we move on, I want to say that we have about 22 minutes left on the goal. Oh, sorry.
That last comment down there is about to say, didn't they already say they won't age up the kids?
They are not aging up the kids, no.
I didn't think they were. Eric, what you drinking there? What's your product placement tonight?
What I always drink, Dr. Pepper. Either that or Mr. Pibb.
Oh, I was about to say, neither Dr. Pepper or Mr. Pibb has the habit of making you tipsy on streams.
That's true. Before we wrap it up, I just want to, before we jump into our Lanterns discussion, I want to say we are 22 minutes left in the goal. This is my last pitch for the goal, if we want it or we don't want it. As you guys know, this is a top 10 list. It is the first time I've ever offered a top 10 list. We are one super chat away from hitting one of these, and we're 5 away from hitting 2 of these in the reloaded chat, because we're 4 out of 10, and we always do 5 and 5. So if we hit confetti, we do 2. If we hit one without confetti, we do one of these. And we are 2 super chats away and debunk from hitting the goal. I get it. This might not be something that people are interested in, so I'm just putting that out there. But we are going to be jumping into our Lanterns discussion. And while we're doing that, you can super chat whatever you want, and then we'll talk about it after the Lanterns discussion. Now, before we do that, has everybody watched the show? And does anybody not want to get spoiled on it? Like, how does everybody feel about it? Because I'm going to talk about pretty much all of it.
I mean, it was spoiled. It was being spoiled so much that I decided to just go ahead and bite the bullet and watch it last night. So
yeah, it was spoiled by, like, there were people putting out videos this morning with the biggest spoiler in it on the thumbnail, and some of them are reputable people that I cannot believe did that, but they did it anyway. And I could have done it on my video, but I didn't. I was like, I'm not going to go the cheap way and and spoil it in my thumbnail. But some people were. And it was really fucking annoying because I'd done my best to not do that.
It too. It's frustrating.
Yes, yeah. So with that being said, let's go ahead. I'm going to put up the thing is the biggest spoiler is the very end, and I feel like it's been spoiled already. Cloud Gaming Guy with the $1 super chat to help reach the goal. We're now 4 out of 5 in debunks. So thank you for that. Like I said, it's the low. You can tip $1 and it pushes us to our goal. Let me go ahead and put up a spoiler banner though for this. Lanterns spoilers and save and show on screen. There we go. All right, so we're going to talk about Lanterns. We are going to talk spoilers, but at this point, moving forward on Tuesdays, I will be discussing Lanterns at the end of each stream, just like we did with Daredevil, and we're going to open the floor for spoilers. So if you guys are watching it weekly, just try and watch it before Tuesday night. I feel like it's been 2 days. Like, if you wanted to watch it, you probably would have watched it by now, just to be straight up. All right, so we all know how I felt about Lanterns going into it. I was a little nervous that it was going to be not as comic booky and that it wasn't going to dive into the lore. It wasn't going to be fun because it's going to be super serious. And I was very nervous about that until I saw the last trailer. The last trailer for me was like, this is kind of what I wanted it to be. So I went into the episode with a very open mind about it, and I was looking forward to having a good time watching the show. Now, I know there's a lot of people who are diehard Lantern fans who probably don't like some of the changes they made. We'll talk about that as we get through discussion. But I just want to go ahead and give my general overall thoughts on it. I think it was a really good premiere episode for an HBO Max TV show. Green Lanterns or not, I thought that it was a good premiere for the show. And if you take away any sort of like pedantic or nitpicky things about Lanterns from it, I think the general audience is probably going to really like it too. And I think they were playing towards the general audience with the show. I think that's where they were going with Lanterns. I think there's stuff there for fans of Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart, obviously, but I think the show was designed so that you're learning about the Lanterns while you're watching the show, and you don't need to know anything going into it. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. Obviously it's a TV series, so you're reviewing it differently than what you would review a movie. I'm going to talk about that as well. Has there anybody else that's seen it on the panel want to just give their general overall thoughts on the show?
Well, I will go over it on the podcast tomorrow, but I'll say this. I thought was very good. I think I have lots of theories about what's going on and why Hal's doing some of the things he's doing. And we can dive a bit more into that when we get into a bigger discussion. But overall, I thought it was very good. I definitely got the True Detective vibe and somehow mixed decently well with the Lantern lore, which I was shocked at. There's definitely some sus stuff going on in the town, which we will definitely dive into. But yeah, no, I dug it.
What about you, Darren?
Yeah, I liked it a lot more than I thought I would, honestly. I was really shocked to see how divisive it's been online these last week or so, because I came out of it and being like, that was a fantastic episode of television. Like, truly just such a, from a writing to a pacing to our character dynamics and their chemistry with each other, it's a good show. Like, you can see that this pilot was made by the same person who made Lost, one of arguably one of the greatest pilots of all time. Like that first episode of Lost is on its own a masterpiece. And you can kind of see that in the way it's writing its mysteries, it's writing their dynamics. Do I understand people mad at the ending? Understandably, right? Not to go into that, but like I can see why that would upset some people. It excites me because I do think it's going to be a fantastic what's the word, like weekly bottled experiment where we get to have the, what does this mean? What did this line of dialogue lead to this? Why? It's very Arrow, where like each episode they gave you a little like crumbs about like the island and what happened there and stuff like that, where it's like, oh, we're going to get pieces of the mystery throughout this season, maybe even multiple seasons of like, okay, what has happened over this 10-year period that we're watching through, which I think is, I really enjoyed the first episode. I thought it was great.
Jake, are you with us or the AFK? I think he's AFK. We'll let him talk when he gets back. So I think it's there's a lot of people. I spent most of the day watching a combination of reviewers that I don't think are outrage grifters and ones that I do know for a fact are outrage grifters, to try and get like a sort of like vibe of what people think about the show. Because I already made my mind up. Nobody was swaying me. My opinion was set. I knew what I thought about it. I have found a very huge epidemic, I guess, of people that just don't really understand how to review something that is establishing a mystery that needs to go on for like 7 episodes, right? We fought through season 2 and season 3 of The Flash. We know what it's like to watch mystery build up over weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. There's a lot of people that went into the show and their issue with it was that they didn't get a bunch of answers in the first episode. And I don't understand who watches a series that is establishing a mystery and expects to get answers for some of the biggest questions we have in the episode. So for me, the first episode is the question episode. It's the one where you set up, you do your world building, you introduce your characters, you establish mystery, you ask questions, you make people want to come back and watch another episode. It's not supposed to tell you everything in the first episode.
Not even a mystery show, Eric. That's literally the point of a pilot. The pilot's number one job is to ask your audience questions. You need to end that pilot episode and be like, I need to know these things that have been set up. I need to see where these things go. That's like, they teach you that in film school. Like that's something they teach you to do. Like I don't know.
But I have said that I believe we have so many people. Well, first of all, most of the reviewers don't really know how to review stuff. Like they're bad at that anyway. But then they go into a TV show, a pilot episode, and they go, I'm going to review this like a movie that has 3 acts, right? So you want the beginning and the middle to establish the story, and then you want the resolution in the end. That's not the way you review TV shows.
No.
You don't review them that way. If you want to review that formula, do it at the end of the season. Once the whole season is done, then you can go back and look and go, hey, these questions that we had never got answered. And so that's a problem for me, or that's an issue. In the pilot episode, it is almost impossible for you to get what you need in terms of like the full picture of the season in that one episode. In the first episode, they're trying to get you emotionally invested in the characters. That's the point of the first episode, is to get you invested in them, not to have questions answered.
Actually, Jake just came back. Do you want to give your thoughts on the show?
Well, I mean, just for one thing, if they were going to give you the full picture, it'd be a 2-hour movie, not an 8-episode series. But
yes, exactly.
I dug the first episode. I mean, obviously, like, you know, we have questions going into it. I had there were little moments where I'm like, okay, I don't know if I, you know, so much like the pacing of this scene, but I'm like it's nitpicks. But I dug it overall. I really like the dynamic between Hal and John that you see. Like, I was really skeptical going into this, mainly about Kyle's casting. Not so much could he pull it off from an acting standpoint, but I'm like, can I look at this guy and see Hal Jordan? And for what they've done so far, I gotta say I liked that take on it, but kind of the show stealer for me.
He's definitely the very world weary Hal.
Yeah,
you can still see Hal Jordan in there. I think he's doing a good job.
Kind of the show stealer for me so far is Aaron Pierre's Jon Stewart. He's doing incredible. Like after all these years of like getting these pseudo versions of Jon Stewart or almost getting him in movies, we actually have a fully fledged Jon Stewart in live action now, and it's pretty great to see.
Well, I want to point this out. There's a lot of people that misunderstand his character that I've seen talking about the show, right? So let's talk about John first. We're going to talk about John, then we'll talk about Hal. So we get introduced to John back in 1996 when he's at home, and we see that he's in a very traumatic upbringing with his father.
Yes.
It's super traumatic, and it's this military regimented like life that he's living as a kid. So he's not really experiencing the world like a normal kid would experience the world. He's in a very strict household. He's very interested in the Green Lantern. He's very interested in the superhero life in this world. And his father comes home after he's just watched an interview on TV and starts interrogating his son on things that he watched on television, and then takes him out and with live ammo shoots an apple off of his kid's head and then asks him if he's afraid. This is a very traumatic, fucked up upbringing.
Yes. No, I was really disturbed by that when I watched the first 5 minutes on YouTube. I was like, what the fuck? That is messed up.
And I like the whole, you know, going ahead a little bit, I like John's whole nature in this episode where he thinks that, you know, like watching his dad die is like the worst thing that can happen to him. So he doesn't have anything to be afraid of anymore. And it's just kind of unfazed by life. You know, we'll see that he, you know, will likely get proven very wrong in that. But I like kind of that jaded nature, because like everybody has that one thing in their life where it's like, all right, it can't get any worse than this, and nothing really affects me anymore. Everybody goes through that at some point, and I don't know, it felt real. It felt believable.
Well, go ahead, Darren. Do you want to say something? You're muted.
Sorry, I'm muted. I am curious if he was training him to be a lantern exactly. And if that's the case, like, I do wonder if we're doing a story about, like, his entire identity as a child has been to become a lantern. And, like, this is his one obsession that his father endured from him. That's not healthy. That's not going to do well for his mental health.
Yeah.
It's a little bit off, but similar to what you're talking about. I have kind of a... do we want to talk about theories at this point?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so a theory I had watching this, because I was like, well, it's interesting. Why is Jon Stewart training on Earth? And then watching this, I'm like, okay, what I think is going on is that the ring has somehow told Hal that John will be his successor. And the Guardians of Oa don't want the ring on Earth anymore. So the reason why Hal's going to train John on Earth is essentially to keep the ring on Earth, more or less.
Maybe. That's a good theory. But my takeaway from John as a character, as we see him throughout the episode, is he's emotionally guarded. Like, he doesn't connect with people, right? And I think that trauma has to do with his upbringing. So he doesn't want to let anybody in. He doesn't let Hal in. He calls him yes. He says yes sir, no sir. He doesn't really argue with them unless it's relevant to what they're talking about in the moment. He's very polite He's very cordial with every single person he comes in contact with. Even in the scene where he's having sex with the woman in the bar, he's not connecting with her.
No.
Right?
Oh, he's connecting.
But no. I mean, like to think about it psychologically, she's there with him, and he's not there. Like he's just not there, right? And I think, so the thing is that I think this all shows that his entire emotional, his concept of the world is kind of this guarded, unopened portion of who he is. And I think a lot of that has to do with the trauma from his childhood, because I've seen people complaining that he's not doing, because Aaron Pierre is an incredible actor, and we've seen him do acting at different levels, right? So that means he's definitely playing this the way that he has been directed to play the character, which is he's supposed to be stoic, which, by the way, that's what these guys want. They want stoic heroes. So you got this stoic, unemotional hero that doesn't really act out on his feelings, playing this role and doing it in a way that I think is coming across like we're going to learn more about this. The experience of him as a person is going to be the journey we're going to take while he also becomes a lantern. Like, I think that's a story we're going to get in this season. And I'm pretty excited about that. And by the way, Aaron Pierre, incredible actor, and I'm so glad to see him in this role. And he talked about being in Man of Tomorrow, so we know we're going to see him come back again. Do we think, I know we haven't seen this whole series now, obviously we're talking about the first episode, but do we think that this is going to be someone that people are going to accept because we know that he's in Man of Tomorrow and Hal isn't in Man of Tomorrow? Because we also have Guy Gardner as well.
That we know of, Eric.
That's
that
true.
we know of.
That is
like,
true.
what if they've been they could have been hiding it for what happens at the end of the episode,
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and talk about Hal then. What do we think about Hal in the episode?
I love
At first he kind of bugged me, but like then I kind of started seeing what they were doing, and I kind of like it. Like he's talked about how, like, he, kind of like Jake said, he's talked about how, I don't care, I don't have any more fear, and it's like, yeah, sure, I don't believe you for a second, buddy. But yeah, he's doing things very brazenly, very kind of off the cuff, but like, he's obviously very smart about it. He knows, he has a plan. Doesn't always work out quite how he figures out, but he has a plan. So yeah, I kind of like how they're doing it. Oh, yeah.
So this is one of the things I've seen, and I'm not saying you can't have this opinion, but what's interesting to me is I want to see how he got to this point. Like, what made him this bitter old man that we have in 2016? Because we look at 2006 Hal, right? The one that comes out of the ring, he's a very different person than the one we have in 2016.
Yeah.
So for me, it's really interesting to see, like, how do we get to the point where he is this sort of jaded, bitter hero that is kind of going through the motions. I think it's a good I think it's a cool idea, personally.
Me too.
I know it's not going to work for everybody, but I think it's a cool idea.
I love the interrogation.
I was gonna say my favorite scene was the interrogation. Oh my god,
it's such a well done. I that's such a cool concept to be like, facts. Facts about the president. These various things, but Hogwarts, something that, as someone who doesn't like Harry Potter and didn't grow up on Harry Potter, that scene hit home for me because I'm like, yeah, I didn't read the books, I didn't really like the movies, but I know what it is. Like, I think everyone knows what Hogwarts is, and like him being like you live here and you don't have more opinions on the president. Yeah, you're someone
you live out in the country, you have no opinions on Barack Hussein Obama.
Why aren't you a racist old man?
Yeah, no, it was great. That was a great scene.
As if we don't have a lot of those in HBO shows.
Yeah. And then we find out that there's this group in this town in Nebraska that wants Hal to help them fight against alien invasions, and they're not telling him a lot about themselves, so we don't really know who these people are. And then we find out that manhunters on Earth, or at least it might not be, we know it's supposed to be manhunters, but we know there's 14 alien species that have visited Earth that can copy humans' physiology, and we have no technology to determine whether or not they're alien because they copy everything so precisely, right? So we set that up, and that's a really important bit of information that I'm surprised a lot of people who hated this episode aren't latching onto, because we do know, based on the teaser, that there is a point at some point in the show where Sinestro has Hal locked up and he's interrogating Hal and talking to him. We don't know where that is chronologically in the show. We don't know if that's 2006. We don't know if it's 2016. We don't know if it's 2026. We have no idea.
1996. 1990.
We don't know. So there's all kinds of things that we're supposed to be thinking about while we're watching the show. And so, in my opinion, I think when we find out, because a big spoiler at the end of the episode is that we find out we've gone from 2016 to 2026, and Hal has supposedly been murdered in this town, and his ring is missing, which we don't know where that is at the moment.
By the way,
yeah.
I saw, fucking Human Thumb was complaining, but what? How can it be comic book accurate? They kill him off at the end of the episode. I'm like, yes, famously, comic books never kill off any characters.
Well, like there's at least
Jason
two
Todd,
instances.
the Kents, the Waynes, the list.
They never die.
There's at least two instances I remember where Hal gets killed in the comics. At least two.
Yeah.
It's probably more. And he comes back. Anybody remember Green Lantern Rebirth? Is that striking any minds there?
Anybody remember when Hal became Parallax?
Yeah.
Oh, wait. What happened? What just happened?
Nope.
Darren's
Darren bopped out.
Darren's thing might have crapped out on him.
But even so, we don't know for sure if it was actually Hal that was killed. We don't know. So when people get mad about it, it's like, it's a TV show. It's the first episode. Maybe we should watch the other 7 episodes to find out what's going on before we jump on this whole, I can't believe they killed Hal in the first episode train. Also, Hal is going to be in every fucking episode of the show.
The show is obviously setting up to well, I mean, the first episode's 3 timelines, so I'm envisioning they're all going to be 3 timelines. It might just be 2, though. It might just be 2016 and 2026. That being said, in 2016, Hal's going to be a major character.
Yeah. So my thing is, why get so upset about it now? Because what's going to happen if they reveal, this would be hilarious, if they reveal in like 5 episodes that it was a manhunter that was pretending to be Hal, and Sinestro took Hal off planet, and the manhunter was killed to make it look like Hal was dead.
They literally just said there's 14 aliens who are perfectly able to mimic a human.
And all these people that crashed out about it are going to have to go, oh, well, it was still stupid anyway, and they'll come up with a reason why it's dumb. Some of them are already creating a safety net.
Wait,
they're creating a safety net anyway.
You mean they should wait until the full thing comes out to judge it?
If you're going to judge that, because that's part of the mystery of the show. It's really funny. It's the first episode. One of the biggest mysteries is like, how dare they do this? It's probably the biggest mystery of the show. Yeah. So that means it's part of the story we're going to be dealing with for the next 7 episodes. But also, people were complaining about Hal Jordan getting disrespected by people. Literally, the sheriff is the only person that was disrespectful towards him, because him and John were going back and forth. He was being disrespectful to John too.
And John calls him sir.
Yes, right. But the only person that I saw, I went back and watched it again, that's outright disrespectful to Hal is the sheriff.
And it's clear they have a past history.
Yeah. So, it's kind of crazy. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really good. We're going to hide the poll because I don't think we're going to hit the goal. So,
that's right.
I do appreciate all the super chats, but I think it's already ended and reloaded. We didn't get to 5, and we're only 1 away in debunks. But there's only like 4 minutes left on that one, so I don't know if we're going to get there. But I do appreciate everybody that super chatted. We'll try again on Thursday to see if anybody's interested. And we will not do a top 10 list because clearly nobody wants that. So
nope,
we won't be doing that. But anyway, I had a good time with it. I'm locked in for the rest of the season now at this point. I think the show did enough for me to want to continue to watch it. It's also it's a breath of fresh air. I'm not a huge James Gunn fan, but it's a breath of fresh air to get something that doesn't feel even remotely like James Gunn, because we had Creature Commandos, we've had Peacemaker, we had Superman, and even though Supergirl, which clearly isn't a James Gunn movie, Craig Gillespie was taking some nods from some James Gunn's isms in that movie. So this one feels the most different from anything that we've had.
I mean, I will also say I think Supergirl would have been better if handled by James Gunn, which, yeah, I've been wanting stuff a bit more distant from him. Anyway, but yeah, I think Lanterns is a nice step away. Honestly, as far as like tone and stuff like that, True Detective was obviously a tone. Also a bit because probably because Damon Lindelof was involved, a bit of the Watchmen tone I was getting from this.
Yeah,
series, which I love that Watchmen series.
Especially with the ending of this first episode, it felt like the ending of the first Watchmen episode.
Yeah. When that turned out to be great, and Tom King's writing this, and I've been a fan of Tom King for a while, so
I'm kind of up and down when it comes to Tom King.
Yeah, maybe I haven't heard that. Like I've heard there's like stuff that's more controversial he's done. I guess I've just hit the good ones, but yeah.
I mean, it's not even like diving into someone's closet of skeletons. There's just things he's done that I like, things he's done that I haven't liked.
Kay says, I think James Gunn wrote Supergirl. It's my conspiracy theory. I love this theory, but it would be absolutely career suicide if that came out, because and the person that wrote that is supposedly writing other DC things, so that would be really bad for her and bad for James too.
Still enjoyed that more than Superman.
Fair enough. Look, I didn't think it was the worst movie I'd seen. I said it was a mid movie for me, but I understand why people don't like it.
I think I liked it a bit more than you, Eric, but like I wasn't thrilled with it, especially after reading the comic book. The comic book is so fucking good.
Comic book's fucking amazing, and
I before we wrap this up, I do want to say I am under the belief that Supergirl wasn't a bad choice for a second movie in the DCU. But even though that story is probably one of the best Supergirl stories ever written, I don't know if that story was the right story for the DCU. I think they probably should have done something else, because that story is a standalone story in the comics and it works as a standalone story. I don't know if it connects to the DCU the way I wanted it to, but
yeah, it makes sense that they eventually ended up dropping the Woman of Tomorrow subtitle, because when you compare the film to the book, it's a huge departure.
Yeah. I actually think they should have leaned into some of the book stuff even more.
I agree. I agree, because there were points where they really didn't, and even not even getting into plot, but even just from a visual standpoint, the art is breathtakingly gorgeous. And you look at a lot of the space visuals in that movie, and they're boring, they're drab, they're bland. It's like doesn't service the art of the book at all.
Well, what bugged me about it was like reading the comic book and looking at the movie, like they're hitting a lot of the plot points of the comic book, but like they're missing a lot of the character beats. And it's like, oh, those character beats are really what brings it together.
Yeah, I don't know. Like it could have been better. Was it the worst comic book film ever made? No.
Yeah, I don't want to go back on talk about Supergirl too much though.
Talk about Lanterns, guys.
Lanterns for me is a step in the right direction for the DCU. Absolutely. I think Clayface probably going to be pretty good. We'll see how that works for the DCU. I mean, unless that movie crash and burns in a huge way, the budget is so small, it should be okay.
I was going to say it'll be hard to do that.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
According to
Cameron, we'll do that on Thursday because we're already at the 2 hour and 40-minute mark, so we're 10 minutes beyond normal stream time, so we're going to wrap it up here. I will be live I believe it's tomorrow for the Copecast early. I think it's like a 3:00 stream. So definitely, if you're on Debunks, check me out there. We're going to be reacting to Jester Bell's fan-made film, or not fan films, but her short film. So
it's
going to be a lot of fun to be there for that. So definitely check me out over there. If you're new to either channel, please subscribe and show me a little bit of love. I am really close to 10K on Debunks. I'd like to reach 10K hopefully by the end of the month. We've only got a couple weeks left, so I'm really close to doing that. And if you're ever on Reloaded, subscribe, please, as the videos are now finally picking up on the channel again, my pre-recorded content, and I'm happy about that.
What did you
but thanks everybody for being here. Oh yeah, so YouTube is going to start counting views by clicks and not watch time, which is really interesting. I don't know what that's going to look like.
It used to only register if they watched it for 30 seconds, and now it's like click.
So I'll tell you the reason why they're doing that, and then we'll do shout outs for everybody. The reason why they're doing that is every other video platform right now, creators get paid for marketing based on actual views. So like how many people click on those videos. For years, YouTube's been like, we're not going to do that. We vet all of our views. And if you sit in your YouTube studio, you'll see that it'll tell you what your video is. And then it won't show that publicly until they've been registered as like real views, right? So it was always a detriment to YouTube. YouTube Shorts suffered from that. They want to be able to have people sell their channels and their content to advertisers. And the only way they can do that is if they shift over to this format, which is counting every watch as a view. So we're going to see channels now, probably with a 20 to 30% increase in your normal views. It's going to go up. So like if you have a channel that normally gets around 10,000 views a video, you'll probably see 13, 14,000 views maybe on their videos. And if you see the channels that get 500,000 views on a video, they'll probably get around 7 or 8 now because it's going to count every view that way. So get ready for some crazy numbers on some of these channels based on views. But that means you only have to click 1 second. They click on it, 1 second ticks, that counts as a view. So we'll see how that looks on YouTube and practice once they implement that. But anyway, let's do shout outs. Before I let these guys give their shout outs, I want to give a shout out to Joe from Crazy Joe's Adventures and Crazy Joe's Concession Stand. Go over and check out his channels. Give him a little bit of love over there. Darren from Darren's Sanctuary, who just vanished. I didn't see anything from him, so I hope he's okay. I didn't get a message from him.
I think it might have been his PC again.
Okay. Well, either way, go check out Darren's Sanctuary. Most of you guys already are anyway, but go give him a follow. And now we're going to do clockwise, give shout outs, anything you got going on your channel this week. We'll start with Bob. What's happening with your stuff?
All right. So podcast will be tomorrow at 7. We're going to talk about End of Oak Street. We're going to talk about X-Men 97. We're going to talk about My Adventures with Superman. And I'll give my thoughts, the pilots of Lanterns, kind of like I did here. But hey.
You go in more detail on your channel.
You were sounding like a pilot with all those right there. Kidding.
Oh yeah, and regular stream will be Thursday.
Okay. Is there a stream with Dane tomorrow?
I don't know.
Dane DeHaan?
I don't know if I'll.
No.
If there is, I don't know if I'll make it because I have
Dane. Wait.
Tomorrow, but yeah.
So I don't even know what his channel is anymore. I think it is now.
It's on the left. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was one time.
It's a lot of changes going on over there. So, Jake, what do you got going on?
I've got my own X-Men 97 video talking about the end of the season. Probably going to do a Lanterns video too, talking about this first episode. Lost Levels on Sundays. We have a Skyrim stream this upcoming Sunday, and then maybe a bonus video this week too.
Okay. By the way, this Thursday will be another sort of fan appreciation night. We're going to try and knock out 2 or 3 of the things we have on back order.
Keyword try.
Well, I mean, because we had D23, so I knew tonight was going to be busy. Unless we get something else big in the next 24 hours, we should have breathing room for a lot of those things. And we're going to do Cameron's. He sent over some stuff to talk about. We'll do that on Thursday. But anyway, I want to thank everybody for being here. Everybody that's hanging out in the chat. Everybody who's a channel member. Everybody who super chatted tonight. I do appreciate you guys. You're helping me get a new computer, which I am in dire need of. So thank you guys so much. And we will see everybody. I'll see everybody tomorrow on Eric's Debunk and Eric Debunks for the Copecast. And then on Thursday for the Nocturnal Nerdcast. Everybody have a great night. And because it's my stream and I can do whatever I want, I'm going to play my intro as a